Chapter 425. He. Xiao Chen smiled. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm going upstairs to sleep. Cheng Menjing said and went upstairs. By the way, I'm going out tonight. I'll prepare the meal before I leave. Xiao Chen said to Cheng Menjing. But don't run around if you have nothing to do. If you're killed by someone, I'll be scolded as a bad husband. Cheng Menjing said and disappeared at the end of the stairs. Back in the room, Xiao Chen repeatedly looked at the 2 emails. He was a little puzzled. These 2 emails were definitely not sent by Miss Xiao. When the first email was sent, Miss Xiao didn't know about it. But, who else could it be other than her? Could it be you, Xiaochuan? That's not right. He only knew about my identity as White Fox on Tang Tang's wedding night. He had no reason to please Xiao Chen's identity before. This made Xiao Chen a little puzzled, but he couldn't figure it out no matter how he thought about it. He could only give up for the time being. At the same time, in the Xiao family in Songning. Today was a joyous day for the Xiao family. For the Xiao family, this was a very historic day because the Xiao family's products were introduced to the world. Today, the Sun family brought 2 foreign businessmen and was ready to sign a contract with the Xiao family. In this way, the Xiao family's business would grow bigger and bigger. On Xiao Yuanshan's face, there was also a warm smile. After all, the overall situation of the Xiao family was getting better and better, and Xiao Chen's return to the Xiao family was inevitable. Although he was deeply poisoned, he was still very pleased to see the Xiao family flourishing day by day. After all, when the Xiao family's business strength improved and Xiao Chen returned to the Xiao family, even if the Xiao family couldn't keep the top 4 of the aristocratic families, they could still keep the bottom 5. At that time, because of the marriage between Xiao Xiao and Cheng Mengqiang, the Cheng family would have to take care of them. In this way, even if Xiao Yuanshan were to die, he could be at ease. After all, he didn't have much time left. The poison in his body was getting more and more complicated, and he couldn't hold on for much longer. In the past, the Xiao family's main business was sales agents. They owned a chain of pharmacies and several chains of supermarkets, all of which purchased and sold goods. This kind of sales agent business was limited to one city, so it was impossible to make much profit. For ordinary people, this was probably a lot, but for aristocratic families, it was really nothing. The expenditure of aristocratic families was quite large. Those precious herbs, medicinal liquids, and pills used for cultivation were all sky-high prices. In the past, the Xiao family only managed to make ends meet, but it was just enough and even a little tight. But now, with the integration of all the Sun family's channels and business, those retail stores were all taken out and converted into funds. They started to specialize in the herb business, and these 2 were Japan's herb distributors. Once this contract was signed, the Xiao family would mainly help this foreign businessman to purchase herbs and sell them directly. They wouldn't have to spend so much effort to find another buyer. In the future, there wouldn't be a problem at all. Medicine Master Sun, we've really troubled you this time. Xiao Hai rubbed his hands and said excitedly, the scale of the Xiao family's business can't go unnoticed because of your Sun family. Mr. Xiao, you're too kind. When our Sun family was in danger and in dire straits, it was your Xiao family who cooperated with us. Now that our Sun family has regained our footing, it's also because of the Xiao family. Medicine Master Sun smiled and said, our Sun family doesn't covet too much profit. We're already very happy to be able to make a living under the Xiao family's protection. Medicine Master Sun, don't worry. With the Xiao family around, the Sun family will definitely not suffer a loss. Xiao Hai patted Medicine Master Sun's shoulder gratefully. He was an honest person and didn't know how to speak, but his face was full of gratitude. Medicine Master Sun, the 2 foreign businessmen are here. At this time, Sun Yuming walked in and said to Medicine Master Sun and Xiao Hai. Okay, Medicine Master Sun, let's go welcome them together. Xiao Hai and Medicine Master Sun walked to the door together. At this time, two Japanese people walked in, and behind them were two beautiful female bodyguards in black. Mr. Xiao, let me introduce you. This is Mr. Maeda, the purchasing manager of the Golden Island Herb Sales Group. Beside him is his assistant, Mr. Fui. Medicine Master Sun introduced them to Xiao Hai. Mr. Maeda, Mr. Fui, nice to meet you. Xiao Hai warmly went over to shake their hands. All the business of the Xiao family was handled by Medicine Master Sun and Sun Yuming, including the negotiations with foreign businessmen. Xiao Hai was only the chairman in name. After all, he wasn't good at business at all. The few chain pharmacies and supermarkets in the past had made him dizzy. Now that the business had expanded overseas, he didn't have the energy and brain to support it. Therefore, he could only give full authority to Medicine Master Sun and Sun Yuming. Fortunately, these two people were very obedient and would report to him about all the big and small matters. He knew about the cooperation with the foreign businessmen before and had been negotiating. Finally, they reached an agreement according to the conditions that both sides could accept, so he came to sign the contract officially today. Mr. Xiao, I've heard a lot about you. The two people in your company are really amazing. They made us have no choice but to give in again and again. Mr. Maeda said with a smile, Medicine Master Sun is really good at grading the quality of herbs, and this Director Sun doesn't give in even an inch in terms of price. I admire you. Mr. Xiao, with these two generals, the company doesn't have to worry about not making money. You flatter me. After Xiao Hai heard that, he smiled happily and said, Mr. Maeda, then according to our previous agreement, let's sign the contract as soon as possible. Then, our Xiao family will set up a banquet. After we sign the contract, we will celebrate together. Good, good, very good. Great cooperation. Mr. Maeda laughed heartily. After the contract was signed, Mr. Maeda asked Mr. Fui to pay the purchase deposit, and on the Sun family side, they could start purchasing in large quantities. Xiao Yuanshan also attended the banquet, but he quickly left. In the eyes of outsiders, he was giving face to the Sun family, but he knew that his health was getting worse and worse, and he wasn't in the right condition to drink. Looking at the table, Xiao Hai's face was full of smiles, and Medicine Master Sun, Sun Yuming, and the foreign businessmen were all smiling. He didn't know why, but his mood suddenly became heavy. He felt that this brightness was only on the surface, but thinking about it carefully, it was no wonder. This was all the credit of the Sun family. If one day, the Sun family went on their own, the Xiao family would once again return to their previous situation. Now, he could only pray that he could live for a few more years, and that the Sun family didn't betray him, and try their best to let Xiao Chen return and marry Cheng Menjing. As long as they gave birth to a descendant who could cultivate martial power, the Xiao family would basically have no worries. But sometimes, the idea was good, it just wasn't known if it could be realized. At night, Xiao Chen prepared the meal and drove to the entrance of the warrior guild. Since he had promised Lu Shuangshuang, he couldn't break the promise. Lu Shuangshuang was already standing at the entrance looking around excitedly. When she saw Xiao Chen's car, she immediately walked up, opened the door, and jumped in. She said with a smile, Xiao Chen, you really kept your promise. Thank you this time. Alright, let's not talk about this. Xiao Chen's words were slightly sluggish, because the white light appeared again, as if someone was secretly taking pictures from behind. This was the second time he had such a feeling. However, at the entrance of the warrior guild, Xiao Chen didn't dare to act rashly. It wasn't good to show his strength, so he could only let the person who took pictures leave. It was just that Xiao Chen was a little puzzled. Who was taking pictures of me? What was the point? Xiao Chen started the car and continued to speak without batting an eyelid. Tell me first, what's going on with this reunion, where is it? The reunion is in the nearby Jiduan city, Immortal Resort. Lu Shuangshuang said, I haven't been there before, but it's not far from Songning City. Pfft, it's already out of the city. It's not far. Why didn't you say so earlier? Xiao Chen was a little speechless. He thought that attending a reunion would only take one night. In this way, he would probably have to stay there for the night. Xiao Chen couldn't dual cultivate with Yi Xiaoya again. It was really f***ed up. Isn't the reunion usually going to the resort to play? Lu Shuangshuang said weakly. Forget it. Since Xiao Chen had already promised, it wasn't good to go back on his words. He started the car directly and sped toward Jiduan City. Just as he came out from the warrior guild, he could directly go to the highway around the city. When we get there, you just say that you are my boyfriend. Don't be exposed. Lu Shuangshuang reminded. Alright, I don't talk much anyway. Just say it. Xiao Chen nodded and agreed. That's good, but you have to cooperate. Lu Shuangshuang said, you have to brag about how rich you are or something. I don't have money. Xiao Chen said, I'm just a poor bastard. Pfft. You drive such a good car when you are poor? Lu Shuangshuang obviously didn't believe it. This car's license isn't mine. I'm just a driver, said Xiao Chen. If you don't believe it, you can see for yourself. Xiao Chen was afraid that Lu Shuangshuang would pester him endlessly and always ask him for help, so he simply threw the car's license to Lu Shuangshuang. Li Shanying? Who is this person? Lu Shuangshuang glanced at it. It really wasn't Xiao Chen's name. She was a little disappointed, but she said, can't you brag? You help me brag, said Xiao Chen. Alright. Lu Shuangshuang suddenly felt that Xiao Chen was very boring. He didn't cooperate with her at all. She complained, can't you help me to the end? Lu Shuangshuang, your way of thinking is wrong. If you don't have money, then you don't have money. Why do you have to brag that you are rich? Do you think it is glorious to be a sugar daddy? Xiao Chen didn't understand Lu Shuangshuang's way of thinking. Yes. Lu Shuangshuang nodded and said. Pfft. Xiao Chen was speechless. Just pretend that I didn't say anything. I will cooperate with you. Chapter 426. Xiao Chen used to be a pretentious person. He always brought Chen Jinpeng and Zhu Yingxiong to school to show off. Therefore, it was not difficult for him to show off. He just did not want to be a busybody now. However, Lu Shuangshuang was right. Since he was here, he should help her to the end. Anyway, it was just this once. Xiao Chen would not come again in the future unless he had nothing better to do. Really? That's great. Lu Shuangshuang was elated. When the time comes, you have to act more intimate with me. Don't let the cat out of the bag. Don't worry. I'm taking advantage of you. Isn't that right? Xiao Chen was really annoyed by Lu Shuangshuang. He casually touched her thigh. Lu Shuangshuang's face turned red. Her breathing quickened, and her expression became unnatural. However, she did not avoid it. She only nodded. Yes, that's right, how about this? Xiao Chen sneered. He touched the middle of her thigh and pressed it a few times. Lu Shuangshuang shivered. She subconsciously clamped her thighs together. She exclaimed, what are you doing? Didn't you ask me to be intimate? Xiao Chen said. You think I can't deal with you? If I don't teach you a lesson, you don't have many requests. Even if you hire an extra, it's not that troublesome, right? No. You don't have to be so intimate. Lu Shuangshuang stared at Xiao Chen and stammered. She was furious. Lin really misjudged him. This Xiao Chen was a pervert. He pretended to be serious on the surface, but in fact, he was actually so perverted. If it wasn't for... I don't have a choice. Why would I bring him here at the last minute? Xiao Chen pulled his hand back. He did not expect Lu Shuangshuang to subconsciously clamp her thighs together. He could not help but be amused. You say you don't want to use it, but you actually do. Otherwise, why would you clamp it so tightly? As he said that, Xiao Chen used his finger to press it a few more times. Ah! Lu Shuangshuang hurriedly spread her legs apart and moved Xiao Chen's hand away while panting. She said, "Are you doing this to Kerlin? You asked for it." Xiao Chen said indifferently, "What's more, Lin Ke isn't my girlfriend, so why should I be sorry? You were the one who misunderstood. Did she not explain it to you? Are you really not her boyfriend?" Lu Shuangshuang took a deep breath and closed her legs again. Then, she shifted her body to the side, not giving Xiao Chen a chance to take advantage of her. "No." Xiao Chen said, "If you can accept it, then it's the level of intimacy just now. If you can't accept it, then you can do it yourself." I can." Lu Shuangshuang gritted her teeth. This time, it was Xiao Chen's turn to be surprised. Even if she went to show the suitor that she had a boyfriend, there was no need to do this, right? If it was normal, he wouldn't think it was fake, right? Even if he accompanied Shen Jingxian to go out and meet friends in the future, there was no need to always show affection to Shen Jingxian, right? Therefore, Xiao Chen didn't understand what Lu Shuangshuang was thinking and why she did this. Xiao Chen was really speechless. Since Lu Shuangshuang felt that there was no problem, then he couldn't say anything more. It was as if he had to take advantage of Lu Shuangshuang. In fact, that was not the case. Xiao Chen wanted to teach her a lesson. To be honest, Xiao Chen didn't like those gold diggers. With his previous identity as the young master of the Xiao family, even if he was a loser, countless beautiful women would flock to him with a wave of his hand. Those women were only interested in his money. As long as he gave them money, they would do it. However, Xiao Chen had no interest in this kind of woman at all. Never mind that he was infatuated with Shen Jingxian at that time, even if he wasn't infatuated with Shen Jingxian, he wouldn't have any interaction with those women. In contrast, Kerlin was more simple. She wouldn't do things that violated her dignity because of money. This Lu Shuangshuang was her friend, but her character was not the same as Kerlin's. If it weren't for Xiao Chen's promise to her, she would have turned around and left at this moment. Well, anyway, it's only once. I will do whatever you say. Xiao Chen said faintly. Okay. Just once is fine. Lu Shuangshuang nodded happily. The car rushed all the way and finally came to the Immortal Resort in Jiduan City. This Jiduan City was a tourist city. It was adjacent to the edge of several cities and was surrounded by them. Because of its special geographical location and beautiful scenery, there were many people who held class reunions and company meetings here. Xiao Chen parked the car in the parking lot of the Immortal Resort. Then, he got off with Lu Shuangshuang and walked to the place where her classmates signed in. Although there were more rich people here, Xiao Chen's top-of-the-line Land Rover was considered a real luxury car here. It was just that Lu Shuangshuang didn't have a chance to show off. The car was in the parking lot, and her classmates couldn't see it. Originally, Xiao Chen thought that Lu Shuangshuang would let him drive the car directly to the place to sign in to show off and then stop back. However, Lu Shuangshuang didn't mention it, which made Xiao Chen somewhat surprised. Could it be that this gold-digging girl forgot? However, it was better if she didn't mention it. Xiao Chen was too lazy to bother. He wouldn't look for trouble for himself. Lu Shuangshuang studied at Shijing Middle School in Songning City. The two walked to the front of a standalone resort building. They saw a line of flashing text on the electronic LED screen in front of the resort building, Shijing Middle School Grade 4 Class 9 Class Reunion. You have been in junior high school for 4 years? Are you repeating a year? Xiao Chen asked as he looked at the text on the screen. You are the one who is repeating a year. Lu Shuangshuang glanced at Xiao Chen. I am a 54-1 system. Ignorant and ill-informed. Xiao Chen was a little dumbfounded. This Lu Shuangshuang still dares to talk back to me? Isn't it time to beg me to come? Seeing Xiao Chen's eyes, Lu Shuangshuang immediately felt that something was wrong. It seemed that her words were a little harsh. She quickly stuck out her tongue and said carefully, "I'm sorry. I'm used to talking to my friends. I won't talk to you next time, forget it. I'm not a glass-hearted person." Xiao Chen shook his head. "You are Ke Lin's friend. I also consider you as a friend. But you should understand that we can only be regarded as ordinary friends. It's okay to joke around, but this is the last time you come to help." "I understand. Don't worry. As long as it's done today, I won't trouble you anymore," Lu Shuangshuang said quickly. Xiao Chen nodded and walked into the lobby on the first floor of the resort with Lu Shuangshuang. In the lobby, there was a check-in table. There were 2 people sitting behind it, and there were many people standing next to them. Obviously, they were Lu Shuangshuang's classmates or boyfriend or girlfriend of her classmates. Lu Shuangshuang. A girl waved at Lu Shuangshuang. Li Xiener. Lu Shuangshuang saw the girl and nodded to her. She smiled and walked over. "Long time no see. I haven't seen you for years. Did you miss me? Shuangshuang, I heard that you found a rich boyfriend. Is that him?" As soon as Li Xiener opened her mouth, she led the topic to Xiao Chen. Lu Shuangshuang was slightly stunned. "Yes, this is my boyfriend, Xiao Chen. His family is very powerful. They do business overseas," Lu Shuangshuang said casually. She had no idea what Xiao Chen's family did. "Oh? Really?" Li Xiener smiled in disbelief. Then, she waved at a guy not far away. "Dajuan, let me introduce you to a good friend." The boy was about 1.75 meters tall. He wasn't tall, but he was wearing famous brands. His trench coat was from Burberry, his leather shoes and belt were from LV, and he was wearing a jade ring on his finger. It was obvious that it was expensive. "Xiener, who are you going to introduce to me?" The guy named Dajuan walked over in a flashy manner. He put his arm around Li Xiener's shoulder and asked. "This is my good friend from junior high, Lu Shuangshuang. Now, she isn't in university. She's mingling in the underworld." Li Xiener said to Dajuan, "This is her boyfriend. His family does export trade." "Oh." Dajuan looked at Xiao Chen and then looked at Lu Shuangshuang. His eyes suddenly lit up. He coughed twice and said to Xiao Chen, "How do I address you, little brother? Is your family doing export trade?" "Coincidentally, my family is also doing trade." Xiao Chen. "It's just a small business. It's not presentable," Xiao Chen said faintly. Xiao Chen didn't lie to him. He was the only one in his family now. He sold breakfast at the morning market street. Of course, it was a small business. "This is my name card. I'm from the Xia family in the provincial capital. If you want to expand your business, you can find me." Dajuan glanced at Lu Shuangshuang lecherously, then he handed a name card to Xiao Chen. Li Xiener naturally saw Dajuan's intentions. She followed Dajuan and knew him very well. This Dajuan liked to have threesomes with familiar people, such as Li Xiener's classmates, friends, and even cousins. A few of them had been dragged down by her. This was also the reason why Dajuan didn't abandon Li Xiener. Li Xiener knew him well, and she often helped him drag people to have threesomes. This Lu Shuangshuang was naturally specially introduced to Dajuan by Li Xiener. Li Xiener was actually used to having a boyfriend. He was from the Xia family in the provincial capital. Although he was a collateral relative, he was still a super-rich young master. Li Xiener was already very lucky to be able to get close to him. "I can't find it." Xiao Chen threw the name card into his pocket. "My business is too small. It can't be found. Huh, brother, don't say that. Haven't you heard of a saying? The more daring a person is, the more productive he is. Dajuan patted Xiao Chen's shoulder earnestly. Oh. Xiao Chen nodded casually and didn't bother with him anymore. Lu Shuangshuang also noticed that this Li Xiener had completely changed. She was completely different from when she was in school. She suddenly lost interest and said to Li Xiener, Xiao Chen's family is very rich. He doesn't need to get close to the Xie family. What is the Xie family? It's nothing compared to Xiao Chen's family. Lu Shuangshuang's voice was very loud. The students next to her all heard it. Dajuan and Li Xiener were stunned at first, then they laughed out loud. Chapter 427. May I ask what family you are from? Your business is actually bigger than the Xie family in the provincial capital? Kid, do you dare to say the name of your family? Do you believe that I can make your family lose its foothold in the province with just one phone call? Dajuan looked at Xiao Chen coldly. Lu Shuangshuang was slightly stunned. Looking at the strange expressions of the students around her, she realized that she seemed to have gotten into trouble. She was shocked. The Xie family in the provincial capital? Could it be the Xie family that supplied goods to the warriors' market? That was a truly monstrous existence. Previously, Lu Shuangshuang did not think about it at all. After all, the warriors' market and ordinary business families were on two different levels. There was no overlap. How could the boyfriend of one of her classmates be from a martial arts family? But now, listening to his tone, it seemed to be the case. Xiao Chen didn't blame Lu Shuangshuang. When he saw her nervous face, he knew that she was already regretting it. Those who didn't know better couldn't be blamed. What annoyed Xiao Chen was that he had never seen this army before, yet they claimed to be from the provincial capital Xie clan. Even Xie Huang of the Xie family did not dare to make a fuss in front of him. Even the head of the family, Xie Chaonan, did not dare to disrespect him. There is no need to tell you. My name is Xiao Chen. If you have the ability, you can ask the Xie family to kill me. Xiao Chen said lightly, why don't we each make a phone call? I can ask the Xie family to kick you out of the family, provided that you are from the Xie family. Ha 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 ha. Dajuan could not help but laugh wildly. Kick me out of the family? His cousin was Xie Chen. Xie Chen was a core disciple of the Xie family. In the company, he was very valued by Xie Chen. He even handed over some of the more lucrative jobs to him. So, of course, he did not believe that a word from Xiao Chen could kick him out of the Xiao family. That was not realistic. If you don't believe me, then make a phone call. Xiao Chen shrugged indifferently. More and more people came to watch the show. Suddenly, there was a commotion in the crowd. A man with a large build and a round waist walked over with a follower. When he looked closely, he was suddenly happy. Lu Shuangshuang, you are here? What happened here? Did you have a conflict with someone? I will stand up for you. Tell me, who provoked Shuangshuang? Chuxiong, Shuangshuang already has a boyfriend, and her boyfriend is very powerful. With a wave of his hand, he can drive my husband out of the family. He's really a ruthless person in our class. You're just a commoner, don't get involved. Li Xiener said coldly. You. Fat Bear naturally knew that Li Xiener's boyfriend, Xie Kanjun, was from the Xie family in the provincial capital. He also knew that although he was doing well in the marketplace, it was impossible for him to compete with the Xie family. Only his master could challenge them. However, just because he didn't dare to go against the Xie family didn't mean that he didn't dare to go against Xiao Chen. Although Li Xiener described how powerful Lu Shuangshuang's boyfriend was, he wasn't an idiot. He could hear the mockery and fear in her voice. Humph, Lu Shuangshuang, is this your boyfriend? Fat Bear had suffered a setback at Li Xiener's hands, so he was filled with anger. He turned to look at Xiaochen and shouted angrily, "Look at you. You're just a piece of trash. Make a phone call and I'll see if you can drive Xia Kenjun out of the Xia family. If you can, then you're amazing. If you can't, then leave Lu Shuangshuang as soon as possible. We don't want the goddess of our class to be with a big liar who only knows how to brag." After Xia Kenjun heard this, his face changed slightly. He did not expect that although Fat Bear looked a little stupid, his IQ was not stupid at all. He wanted to lead the conflict between Fat Bear and Xiaochen so that he could sit back and watch. Speaking of which, regardless of whether it was Xiaochen saying that he would chase him out of the Xia family with a phone call or that he would make Xiaochen's family lose their footing with a phone call, he felt that these were just ruthless words meant to infuriate him. It was impossible for them to be realized. Not to mention him, even Xia Chen could not propose to deal with a family. Why would the Xia family listen to them? What the Xia family needed was to make money, not to fight with other families. If they always fought with other families, then the Xia family would not have developed to where it was now. Therefore, when he saw Fat Bear, he directly led the trouble to him. He did not expect Fat Bear to come back. "Hee, you want to see?" Xiaochen remembered the purpose of this trip. Lu Shuangshuang wanted to show him to Fat Bear and make him give up. Therefore, how could Xiaochen refuse such a way to kill two birds with one stone? He immediately took out his phone and walked to a corner where there was no one. "Why are you sneaking on the phone? Why don't you call in front of us?" As soon as he saw Xiaochen's action, Fat Bear immediately understood. This Xiaochen most likely did not have any power. He pretended to run to the side to make a phone call. When the time came, he could call a random number and find an excuse to avoid it. At this moment, Xia Kenjuan's eyes were also filled with mockery. It seemed that Xiaochen really didn't have any capabilities. He was just putting on an act and wasn't a threat at all. Xia Kenjuan's previous worries were groundless. "Xia Huang, is there a person named Xia Kenjun in your family?" Xiaochen dialed Xia Huang's phone number and asked directly. "There is one, White Fox Hero." "What's wrong? Why are you suddenly asking this question?" Xia Huang asked with some confusion. "It's good that there is. This person offended my underling. Tell him to get lost. If he doesn't, I will personally make him disappear from the earth." Xiaochen said directly, not hiding the threat in his words. "Yes, yes. I will do it immediately." Xia Chen was shocked and quickly nodded. "How can I let White Fox Hero do it yourself?" "Don't worry. I can do it myself. Give me a minute." "Okay." Xiaochen hung up the phone directly. Xia Huang didn't have Xia Kenjuan's phone number. This person was just a distant relative of the Xia family. He had no direct contact with Xia Huang. The reason why he knew was that Xia Chen recommended this person to him, saying that he was an employee of the company. "Xia Chen. You immediately tell the person named Xia Kenjun to get lost. In the future, our Xia family doesn't need him." Xia Huang directly called Xia Chen and ordered. Brother, what do you mean? Why? This person is not bad. He is very dedicated." Xia Chen was taken aback. He didn't know what was going on. Xia Kenjun was his confidant and often bought goods with high rebates. Most of the rebates were given to him. Xia Chen had made a fortune in the past few years. How could he chase away such a useful person? He offended White Fox Hero's underling, so White Fox Hero wants him to leave. Do you understand? Xia Huang said coldly. Xia Chen was stunned. He was a little puzzled. He just offended White Fox Hero's underling, and he wants to kick my relative out of the family. Is this fair? Why do I feel that our Xia family is too weak? It shouldn't be like this. Alright, listen to me. Don't ask so much. Xia Huang directly made the final decision. He didn't give Xia Chen a chance to refute and hung up the phone. Wait, brother. Seeing that the phone had been hung up, Xia Chen clenched the phone in his hand and smashed it on the ground. The large-screen iPhone was instantly smashed, but he didn't feel bad. He stepped on it twice to vent his anger. Damn, White Fox hero, just you wait. I will deal with you sooner or later. However, even though he was scolding him, he still changed his phone number and called Xia Kenjun. President Xia. Seeing that it was Xia Chen calling him, Xia Kenjun was stunned, and then he immediately picked up the phone respectfully. He originally wanted to call Xia Chen to see if he could use business means to deal with Xiao Chen's family, but he was too embarrassed to take the initiative. He didn't expect Xia Chen to take the initiative to call him. He was ready to wait for the opportunity to talk to him. However, Xia Chen was very angry and roared, Xia Kenjun, did you provoke someone? Now, you are fired. You should leave the company first. Xia Kenjun was stunned all of a sudden. He didn't know what to do. He held the phone, and his mind was blank. What's going on? Why would Xia Chen say this? Could it be that Xiao Chen is so capable? Can it really be settled with a phone call? He said with some uncertainty, President Xia, don't joke. I'm attending a class reunion, are you kidding? You must leave. This is an order from my brother, Emperor Xia. You know, in the Xia family, no one can refute his words. You should leave first. When there is a chance, I will see if I can make you come back to do something. Xia Chen was a little annoyed and said, I must leave now. Don't say any more. You are a prodigal. Why did you provoke someone for no reason? I didn't provoke anyone. Over here, that kid called Xiao Chen looks like a pauper. I didn't think he would be so powerful to be able to establish a relationship with young Master Xia. Xia Kenjun's heart sank. He knew he was done for. Xiao Chen. The person you provoked is called Xiao Chen? Xia Chen was slightly taken aback. He knew this name because. However, after he confirmed this name, he immediately laughed coldly and said, all right, I got it. This Xiao Chen's family is almost finished. When the time comes, I'll think of a way to get you back. But for now, you'd better calm down for me. This person is not important. It's his boss who called my brother. Yes, yes. Xia Kenjun was overjoyed and quickly said yes. He hung up the phone, and Xiao Chen also came back. However, Xia Kenjun's submissive appearance on the phone was seen by everyone and Fat Bear. Everyone could guess some of it. They suddenly knew that Xiao Chen's phone call was really effective. How is it, Xia Kenjun? Did your master call you to get lost? Xiao Chen looked at Xia Kenjun and asked with a faint smile. You. Xia Kenjun's face was a little pale. He really didn't expect to cause such trouble today. Chapter 428. Lu Shuangshuang was a little shocked. She did not expect Xiao Chen to be able to settle the Xia family with just a phone call. This really surprised her. After all, she knew what kind of family the Xia family was. She stayed in the warrior guild and the warrior market all day long. However, what kind of power did Xiao Chen have to make the Xia family make such a decision? She looked at Xiao Chen and suddenly felt that Xiao Chen seemed to be quite powerful. Xiao Chen, don't be too proud. Our President Xia said that your family is about to be finished. He will deal with you when the time comes. Although I was kicked out of the family, it is only temporary. Xia Kenjun's face was a little ugly. He could not help but say what Xia Chen said previously. You just called the Xia family through your boss. Do you really think that you are capable? Others did not understand what this meant, but Lu Shuangshuang understood. Wasn't Xiao Chen's boss the White Fox hero? That day, on Temple Street, wasn't it Xiao Chen who called the white fox hero? So that was it. Lu Shuangshuang suddenly understood. However, others did not understand, especially Fat Bear. He was a little afraid of Xiao Chen at first, but when he heard that Xiao Chen asked his boss for help, he immediately did not care. His boss was also a powerful person. Everyone was at the level of a little brother. Why should he be afraid of him? The Xia family was a business family. Your boss called to give you face, but I'm from the underworld. It's not that easy to get me to leave. Moreover, he thought that he had a good relationship with his boss. Xia Conjuan's beating around the bush couldn't be compared to him. It could be said that he was equivalent to the role of Xia Chen. In other words, he could directly talk to the young master of the Xia family. So, Fat Bear rolled his eyes and said, "Haha, Xia Canjun, what's wrong? It is true that you have a backer, but your backer is not very useful. It is not as reliable as mine." Humph. Xia Canjun snorted coldly. How could he not hear Fat Bear's contempt? However, now that he had temporarily lost the support of the Xia family, he could not say anything more. He pulled Li Xiener and turned to leave. Wait. Xia Canjun was about to leave, but he was stopped by Xiao Chen. What else do you want? Xia Canjun asked angrily. You kicked me out of the Xia family, but that doesn't mean I'm afraid of you. Who is Manager Xia? Xia Chen? Did he tell you that our Xiao family is doomed? Xiao Chen frowned and asked Xia Canjun. How would I know? He didn't say that I would curse you. Xia Canjun was not stupid. He immediately realized that he had said something wrong and quickly denied it. Really? Xiao Chen didn't ask any more. He was now basically sure that this President Xia was Xia Chen, and Xia Chen actually said that the Xiao family was going to be finished. What did this mean? Did he know something, or did he see something? Or could there be other reasons? But this Xia Canjun definitely didn't know anything. It was useless for Xiao Chen to ask him, so he could only pay attention to it himself. Since he left the Xiao family, he hadn't paid attention to the news of the Xiao family for a long time. Xiao Chen had been paying attention to the Xiao family, the Tang family, the Yu family, and so on, but he ignored his own family. In the past, Xiao Chen had inexplicable hatred for the Xiao family. He didn't understand why the Xiao family wanted to kick him out. But now, since the last meal with his uncle Xiao Hai, Xiao Chen also understood their difficulties. Especially after coming into contact with the other great clans a few times, Xiao Chen deeply understood their difficulties. Could it be that something happened to the Xiao family recently? However, in the Xiao family, only Xiao Chen was in the same generation as Xiao Xiao. Now that Xiao Xiao and Cheng Mengqiang were together, Xiao Chen had nothing to say to her. It didn't seem very good to ask his uncle Xiao Hai directly. After all, he had never paid attention to the Xiao family before. If he suddenly asked, Xiao Hai would inevitably feel strange. Moreover, it was not good for Xiao Chen to contact Xiao Hai directly. Although he wasn't afraid of the Cheng family, he still had to keep a low profile in order not to alert the enemy. Watching Xia Canjun leave with his tail between his legs, Fat Bear sneered. You want to compete with me? You were sent away before my brother could do anything. That saved me a lot of trouble. Turning to look at Lu Shuangshuang, Fat Bear said, Lu Shuangshuang, what do you think? 50,000 a month, that's not a low price. It's enough for me to hire a young model. I'm giving you this price because you're my first love. Otherwise, do you think you're worth this price? Xiao Chen was a little amused by Fat Bear's actions. Even if he was Lu Shuangshuang's temporary bodyguard, a fake boyfriend, Fat Bear didn't know. This brat was trying to poach Lu Shuangshuang right in front of him. He was simply looking down on him. Shuangshuang, is this person sick? Xiao Chen pointed to Fat Bear and asked Lu Shuangshuang with a puzzled face. Well, maybe a little. Lu Shuangshuang knew how powerful Xiao Chen was, so she was not afraid of getting into trouble. She nodded and said, "Well, boy, are you pretending? Don't think that you can deal with me just because you can deal with Xie Canjun. Don't think that you can deal with me just because you can deal with Xie Canjun. Let me tell you, I'm different from him. I'm a street person. Do you have the ability to drive me out of the family? Sorry, I'm alone. I don't have a family." Fat Bear said disdainfully, "You are from Songning, right? Although you know some people, let me tell you, it's useless. If you get angry, I will destroy you. You can ask around in the underworld of Songning City. What is my name? If I kill you, I will have a younger brother to take the blame for me. Oh, I don't need to find someone to take the blame even if I kill you." Xiao Chen said faintly after listening. "Hey, boy, you have guts. I don't know if you still have guts after returning to Songning City. You don't know who controls the underworld of Songning City, right?" Fat Bear sneered. "You mean your family?" asked Xiao Chen. "Of course, it's my boss. Tonight, my boss will come to support us. I'm not afraid to tell you that my sister has recently followed my boss. Now, I'm a popular person around him. My words are quite powerful. If you don't want to die, then don't get involved. She's just a woman. There's no need to lose your life. Look at you, you don't dress very well. I guess you just know a few more people. You are just a child of a small family. You have to know your own weight." Fat Bear said to Xiao Chen earnestly. "Then, if you have the ability, kill me." Xiao Chen was a little speechless. In many cases, the reunion would change after a certain period of time. It would become a place to show off one's sense of existence. Some people who were good at school might not be doing well now, and some people who were bad at school might be rich now. As for the goddesses who used to look down on them, as long as the right bargaining chips were given, they would throw themselves into the arms of the goddesses who once looked down on them. Xiao Chen didn't have such a strong feeling about the reunion before, but now, he finally understood why there were always some good students who liked to initiate a reunion. It was because it was cool to pretend to be real in front of former classmates. Especially in front of the girls he liked in the past, it was even more so to show off his existence. Don't think that I'm talking nonsense. When my boss comes in a while, you will know that there are some levels that a child of a small family like you can't reach." Fat Bear snorted. "Oh." Xiao Chen made an "oh" sound. It was unknown whether he heard it or not. Seeing Xiao Chen's stubbornness, Fat Bear was a little annoyed. If it wasn't for the class reunion, he really wanted to teach this Xiao Chen a lesson and beat him until all his teeth fell to the ground. He wanted to let him know that there were some people that he absolutely could not provoke. But in front of so many classmates, and this reunion was initiated by him. If he hit someone, how would his classmates think of him? So even if he was very angry, he still held it in and didn't make a move. Fat Bear glanced at the door of the resort and didn't see any high-end cars. The cars were even the same as before. So, he rolled his eyes and said, "Lu Shuangshuang, you came by taxi, right? If you want me to say it, you can call me, and I will drive to pick you up. Do you see my car? The Land Rover Aurora at the door is this year's latest model. Just call me, and I will pick you up. This off-road vehicle, I will drive to your shanty town as well." "We drove here," said Lu Shuangshuang. "Drove? What car?" Fat Bear was slightly stunned. He glanced at the door and didn't see any cars. He knew who the few cars outside belonged to. There was no one he didn't know. "Land Rover," said Lu Shuangshuang. It's also a Land Rover? But I'm the only one at the door." Fat Bear pretended to be confused, but his words were full of ridicule. "Oh, it's a Land Rover Range Rover. I didn't drive it here. I left it in the parking lot, said Lu Shuang. Range Rover? Fat Bear suddenly laughed. Why didn't you drive it here? There is also a parking lot here. Why don't you drive your car here? It will be convenient to keep an eye on the car. Land Rover is such a high-end car. Don't let it get scratched. Oh, it's just a car. If it gets scratched, then so be it. I will buy another one after that. Xiao Chen said indifferently. Huh. Fat Bear was immediately amused. These two people were bragging to each other, and it was really like that. It made him laugh. I don't even dare to say that I will buy another one after it gets scratched. Can you buy another one? Well, I haven't driven such a high-end car like Range Rover before. How about you drive it here and let me experience it? Let's talk about it when we leave. Xiao Chen was too lazy to be his driver. Drive it here and let him experience it? Wasn't there something wrong with his brain? At this time, at the door of the resort, there was a car sound. An Audi Q7 stopped outside. When Fat Bear saw it, he couldn't care less about Xiao Chen and Lu Shuang. He immediately ran over and opened the door for the driver. He said flatteringly, "Brother Ming, you are here." Chapter 429. N. The person who got out of the car nodded gently. He looked at Fat Bear proudly and said, "If it weren't for you and Shaoli, I wouldn't have come here to attend this class reunion. Can I live in such a low-class place?" "Yes, yes." Fat Bear quickly agreed. "Right, Brother Ming, there is a person in the house who is acting cool to me. He should be from a small family in Songning City. Can you go and teach him a lesson?" "Oh, a small family? Do I still need to show up?" Brother Ming said faintly. He hugged a fair-looking girl who got out of the front passenger seat and walked into the door of the class reunion. Isn't this Xiao Lu?" Xiao Chen looked up and saw Lu Zhenming walking through the door. Then he said directly, "Right, that Fat Bear next to you wants to see my car. I parked it in the parking lot. Go and drive it for me. Let him feel it." As Xiao Chen said this, he handed the car key to Lu Zhenming. Lu Zhenming looked at Xiao Chen in front of him with a little surprise. He didn't know why Xiao Chen would appear here. He even knew Fat Bear. What kind of connection did they have? However, he still shuddered subconsciously and hurriedly said, "Boss Xiao Chen, why are you here too? Why drive? Why are you showing this dumb *SS? Ignore him." "Oh, then forget it." Xiao Chen glanced at the girl in Lu Zhenming's arms and said, "Is she new?" She has been chasing me. I didn't agree before, but now, I agree." Lu Zhenming had given up on Chengmenjing, so he didn't have to hang on to a tree. "Oh, this fat guy is her brother? He doesn't look like a dumb person. I wanted to beat him up, but since he is your relative, I didn't," said Xiao Chen. Fat Bear's eyes were a little dull as he looked at Xiao Chen and Lu Zhenming, who were talking and laughing wittily. What was going on? Lu Zhenming actually called Xiao Chen boss Xiao Chen. He's Lu Zhenming's boss? His own boss? In that case, wouldn't Xiao Chen's boss be? He felt a little dizzy. This Xiao Chen didn't seem to be a simple descendant of a small family. Could it be that he had been wrong all along? "Fat Bear, what are you doing?" "This is Boss Xiao Chen, my boss. His boss is the White Fox hero who is famous in Songning, and also my boss's boss. Do you want to die? If you don't want to live anymore, just say it. Why are you looking at a car? What's there to look at? If you want to see it, go to the parking lot." Lu Zhenming said angrily. I. Fat Bear's forehead was full of cold sweat. He didn't expect that this Xiao Chen actually had such a powerful background. He really didn't know what to say. Of course, the most dumbfounded person was Lu Shuang. Was the White Fox hero so powerful? Just one of his underlings was already enough to scare people to death. Looking at Lu Xunming's appearance, Lu Shuangshuang knew that this fat bear would definitely not pester her in the future. A male voice called Little Chong also came over. Let's keep in touch in the future. When we were in school, you went out early and came back late to set up your stall. I even helped you copy your homework. Shuang, I think our class needs a leader. You're doing the best now. In the future, you'll be the leader. When we have something to do, we'll help each other. Sister Shuang is the big sister. Fat Bear immediately said. Pfft! What are you doing? You only know how to do well. Lu Xunming kicked him. After that, the class reunion completely turned into a session of flattery. A group of people desperately toasted Xiao Chen and Lu Shuangshuang. Of course, Xiao Chen and Lu Shuangshuang replaced it with drinks. They didn't drink any alcohol. But even so, no one said much. Lu Shuangshuang enjoyed the feeling of being the main character for the first time. The way she looked at Xiao Chen couldn't help but become very gentle. She kept pouring drinks for Xiao Chen. She became Xiao Chen's exclusive drink server. Xiao Chen was also a little helpless. Even if he didn't drink, drinking so many drinks would make his stomach a little uncomfortable. But there was no other way. Lu Shuangshuang's classmates were very enthusiastic. He had to deal with them for Lu Shuangshuang's sake. In his opinion, a good person would help to the end. In the future, Lu Shuangshuang wouldn't bother him anymore. This was also a good way to solve the problem once and for all. Honey, drink by yourself for a while. I'm going to the bathroom. Lu Shuangshuang touched her clothes pocket, then stood up and said to Xiao Chen. Oh? Do you want me to go with you? Asked Xiao Chen. No need. I'll be back soon. Thank you, my dear. Lu Shuangshuang suddenly stood up and wrapped her arms around Xiao Chen's neck. Then, she kissed Xiao Chen's face. Xiao Chen was stunned. He didn't expect Lu Shuangshuang to kiss him in front of so many people. Is she drunk? That's not right. Isn't she drinking juice? Juice can also be drunk. When we were in the car, Lu Shuangshuang was very wary of me taking advantage of her. Why did she suddenly take the initiative? Did she really fall in love with me? Xiao Chen shook his head. Looking at Lu Shuangshuang, who had already left, he felt a little dizzy. He didn't believe that his charm was so great that she would fall in love with him after helping her to act cool. However, Xiao Chen suddenly felt a little drunk. His head was a little dizzy. Did I drink too much juice? I heard that there was a small amount of alcohol in the juice. If you drink too much, you will also get drunk. Thinking about how much juice I drank, it seems that it is really possible. Boss Xiao Chen, let's continue. Let me toast to you. Lu Xunming raised his glass and said to Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen felt that these people were all alcohol battlefields, especially this Lu Xunming. Sure enough, people in the underworld can drink. Lu Shuangshuang came to the bathroom carefully. As soon as she walked in, she was shocked by an old man who suddenly appeared in front of her. She quickly took 2 steps back. Ah, you scared me to death, Lu Shuangshuang. Is he the boyfriend you were talking about? The old man's voice was very strange. There was an indescribable wretchedness and obscenity in it. It made people who heard it very uncomfortable. Why have I never seen him before? It's true. He is really my boyfriend, and we have already slept together. Don't pester me anymore, okay? Lu Shuangshuang said with some begging, didn't we agree before that if I had a boyfriend, you wouldn't come to me? I can give you money. We agreed, but I always feel that you want to leave me and lie to me. He. The old man sneered twice. Did you really sleep with him? Yes, I really slept with him. You must have despised me, so the matter between us, let's end it today, okay, said Lu Shuangshuang. Humph. The old man didn't agree or refuse. He just scanned Lu Shuangshuang up and down greedily. Then he said, "You go back first. I will take a look." "Oh." Lu Shuangshuang said, "You move aside first. I need to go to the bathroom." Humph, the old man snorted and let Lu Shuangshuang enter the bathroom. After Lu Shuangshuang went in, she let out a sigh of relief. This old man lied to me when I was young. I didn't expect him to pester me until now. I shouldn't have agreed to him. Now that I think about it, it's really troublesome. Chapter 430. Lu Shuangshuang locked the door of the bathroom before she dared to pee. Then, she quickly pulled up her pants and left the bathroom. The old man just stood at the door and did not stop her. He let Lu Shuangshuang leave. When she was far away, he dashed into the bathroom that Lu Shuangshuang had used before. After a while, he came out with a gloomy face. When Lu Shuangshuang returned to the table, her classmates were still toasting to Xiaochen. After Lu Shuangshuang came back, she swayed and leaned on Xiaochen. She said in a soft voice, "Honey, I'm a little dizzy. I'll lean on you for a while." Xiaochen looked at Lu Shuangshuang, who seemed to be drunk. He was a little puzzled, but he had the same feeling. He could only attribute it to the fact that the drink was also fermented and contained a small amount of alcohol. If one drank too much, this would happen. He was a man and a cultivator, so the effect of alcohol was slightly weaker. However, Lu Shuangshuang was different. Perhaps because she was a girl, the effect of alcohol was stronger, and she was already beginning to feel dizzy. After drinking for a while, everyone saw that Lu Shuangshuang was drunk and had already leaned on Xiaochen. So, Fat Bear immediately stood up and said, "Boss Xiaochen and sister-in-law Shuangshuang have drunk too much. Let's call it a night, okay? We still have to climb the mountain tomorrow. Everyone, go back and rest early. The room cards are at the door. Everyone, go and get them later." After saying that, he took the initiative and gave Xiaochen the best room among the room cards. In fact, the best room was just a king-sized bedroom with better decoration. In this old resort, it was impossible to get a presidential suite. At least, there was no such thing in this resort. When Xiaochen saw that Fat Bear only gave him a room card, he felt a little helpless. However, he could not explain that his relationship with Lu Shuangshuang was actually fake, so he could only bite the bullet and take it. He looked at the room number, hugged the swaying Lu Shuangshuang, and walked out of the restaurant. Xiaochen did not plan to take a stroll. He walked directly to the room. There was no elevator in this resort, only stairs. Xiaochen helped Lu Shuangshuang up the stairs. However, he suddenly turned around halfway. Previously, he always had a feeling that he was being followed and monitored. It was not that he found anything, it was completely the spiritual awareness of a cultivator, but when he turned around, he found nothing. He released his spiritual perception, but he was unable to sense anything. Could it be that it was the person who had taken pictures of him time and time again? Xiaochen was puzzled. Why was this person following him? He actually followed them all the way from Songning City to Jiduan City? This person was really patient. However, it was also possible that Xiaochen was a little dizzy, so he had an illusion. After confirming that there was no one, Xiaochen didn't stay any longer. He quickly went upstairs and came to the door of the room. He opened the door and quickly helped Lu Shuangshuang into the room and locked the door. However, after Xiaochen entered the room, an old face flashed at the end of the corridor. It was the old man that Lu Shuangshuang met in the bathroom before. As soon as he entered the room, Xiaochen was stunned. How can I sleep like this? This room was actually a king-sized bedroom. There was only one king-sized bed in the room, and he and Lu Shuangshuang weren't really boyfriend and girlfriend. If they slept together, even if they didn't do anything, it would still be quite awkward. Xiao Chen pondered for a moment and threw Lu Shuangshuang on the bed first. Lu Shuangshuang seemed to have drunk too much. She fell on the bed in a daze and began to sleep. As for Xiao Chen, when he was washing up, he didn't know why he felt dazed. It was as if something had gone to his head. Did I really drink too much? Can juice get drunk? Xiao Chen felt that his vision was a little blurred. Just as he put Lu Shuangshuang down, his head was dizzy, and he fell directly on the bed. Elder Heaven Ancestor. What happened to me? Although Xiao Chen was unconscious, his subconscious was still there, and he subconsciously communicated with Elder Heaven Ancestor in his mind. What happened? You were drugged. Elder Heaven Ancestor said calmly. What? Me? Xiao Chen was stunned, and suddenly felt a little depressed. Then why didn't you tell me earlier? You only told me after I was drugged? Did you already know about it? Nonsense, but I just won't tell you. Elder Heaven Ancestor said with a smile. Why? Xiao Chen asked in shock. Weren't you arrogant before? Now you don't ask me anything, and you make your own decisions. Then I won't be annoying and talk too much. Elder Heaven Ancestor said, Tell me, how long has it been since you last asked me for advice? I didn't want to disturb you. After hearing this, Xiao Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This Elder Heaven Ancestor was like a child, and he was even angry. Yes, I also didn't want to disturb you. Seeing that you were quite drunk, I didn't stop you. Elder Heaven Ancestor said. Fainted. Then what do I do now? Xiao Chen asked with a bitter smile. There's nothing to do. There's no danger anyway. This kind of drug is nothing to you. You just need to circulate the mantra and use your Yuan Qi to dissolve it. You'll wake up soon. Elder Sky said indifferently. Okay. Xiao Chen could only nod helplessly. He was a little depressed that he was tricked by Elder Heaven Ancestor. He didn't dare to delay and quickly use the mantra, but he was a little puzzled. Elder Heaven Ancestor, who drugged me? Why did they do this? It's the girl next to you. How would I know? Why don't you ask her yourself when you wake up? Elder Heaven Ancestor said. Lu Shuangshuang. Xiao Chen couldn't help but frown. The person he was least guarded against was Lu Shuangshuang. His drinks were basically poured by Lu Shuangshuang. He didn't think much about it, but in the end, the person who was least likely to do it had drugged him. However, what was the reason for Lu Shuangshuang to do this? Xiao Chen wanted to open his eyes and ask Lu Shuangshuang, but he couldn't wake up. He could only try his best to use the mantra to dissolve the drug in his body. Lu Shuangshuang, who was originally drunk, suddenly woke up after Xiao Chen fainted. She rolled out of bed and looked at the sleeping Xiao Chen. She carefully used her hand to poke Xiao Chen's arm. Xiao Chen didn't respond. After a while, Lu Shuangshuang poked Xiao Chen's arm again. Xiao Chen still didn't respond. Lu Shuangshuang finally relaxed. She didn't hesitate and reached out to unbutton Xiao Chen's shirt. At this moment, Lu Shuangshuang was like a thirsty young girl. She quickly stripped Xiao Chen's body, leaving only a pair of underwear behind. After hesitating for a while, Lu Shuangshuang clenched her teeth and pulled off Xiao Chen's underwear. Lu Shuangshuang's face was a little red. She didn't dare to look straight at it, but after a while, she still looked carefully. Then, she couldn't help but click her tongue. It's so big. He can't stab me to death, right? Fortunately, it's fake. If I'm really his girlfriend, I'll have a hard time. At this moment, Lu Shuangshuang didn't hesitate. She didn't have so much time to think about whether she was shy or not. She quickly took off her clothes and only wore a small nightgown to cover her body. Then, she quickly got out of bed and went to the windowsill. She opened the curtains a little. It looked like she was admiring the scenery outside, but in fact, Lu Shuangshuang was doing it for others to see. If it wasn't out of Lu Shuangshuang's expectation, the old man would definitely come to peep. Although he hadn't come yet, he would definitely come to check later. Lu Shuangshuang knew that he wouldn't give up, so she made this plan. After doing all this, Lu Shuangshuang quickly returned to the bed. She glanced at Xiao Chen, who was lying on the bed, and thought to herself, Xiao Chen, I'm not trying to trick you. I didn't do it on purpose. Anyway, although you've fainted, you've taken advantage of me. Don't blame me when you wake up. But anyway, after you wake up, you won't know anything. You definitely won't know what's going on. Thinking of this, Lu Shuangshuang directly sat on Xiao Chen's body. Her lower body was empty, so she sat directly between Xiao Chen's legs. Although Xiao Chen didn't have any physiological reaction, Lu Shuangshuang still felt a little weird. She peeked at Xiao Chen and found that he was still unconscious and motionless. Lu Shuangshuang was relieved. She kept hinting to herself in her heart that Xiao Chen was a cushion, and she was sitting on the cushion. It wasn't a big deal. Because she didn't know when the old man would come, Lu Shuangshuang could only rub herself on Xiao Chen's body. Before coming, she deliberately went to the internet cafe to download some short movies. She imitated the women in the movies and pretended to lick Xiao Chen's chest with her mouth as if she was flirting. Sure enough, as Lu Shuangshuang expected, it didn't take long for the old man in the bathroom to appear at the window of Lu Shuangshuang's room. This was the 4th floor, and he actually came up directly. Moreover, he was lying on the window. How badass is this person? Lu Shuangshuang saw the old man from the corner of her eyes, and she was shocked. Although she was prepared, she almost peed in her pants. This person seems to be floating outside. Is this a ghost? However, in order to completely get rid of the old man, Lu Shuangshuang gritted her teeth. After licking Xiao Chen's chest, she began to twist her body. Then, she imitated the way in the short movies and began to move up and down on Xiao Chen's body. Anyway, her lower body was covered by her nightgown. The old man couldn't see it from the outside. As long as she acted properly, the old man would definitely be confused. Lu Shuangshuang felt a little embarrassed as she screamed. However, she had no choice. In order to make the old man believe her, she could only scream like a slut. Fortunately, Xiao Chen was unconscious. If he was awake and she asked him to cooperate, let's not talk about whether he would cooperate or not. Even if he did cooperate, she wouldn't be able to perform so boldly. She would definitely be embarrassed to death. The old man was outside the window. He looked into the room and saw Lu Shuangshuang riding on Xiao Chen's body. His face was a little gloomy. He didn't expect Lu Shuangshuang to really have a boyfriend so soon. Chapter 431. It seems that this chick has grown up and is hard to control. Now, she has lost her virginity. She is completely worthless to me. The old man was a little annoyed. If I knew this would happen, I would have threatened her at that time. Now, I have waited in vain. It must be known how difficult it was to cultivate a human cauldron, especially a woman with such a special physique. His expression was uncertain. He was thinking about how to teach Lu Shuangshuang a lesson. He couldn't just let it go like this. Xiao Chen ran the qi in his body to dissolve the knockout powder. This knockout powder was really nothing to Xiao Chen. It didn't take long for him to recover his willpower. Although he still couldn't open his eyes and speak, and the muscles of his body were still a little numb under the effect of the knockout powder, he could use his divine sense and spiritual power to perceive what was happening around him. At the same time, he narrowed his eyes and could also see outside. However, the scene that Xiao Chen saw almost made his blood boil, and his blood pressure had an attack. What the f***ck, what is this situation? Looking at Lu Shuangshuang sitting on him, twisting her waist and moving up and down, Xiao Chen was suddenly dumbfounded. Motherf***, am I being pushed down? This was the first thought that came to Xiao Chen's mind. It was no wonder that Xiao Chen thought too much. This posture, this riding posture, if it wasn't a push, what was it? But then, Xiao Chen found that something was wrong, because he didn't have that kind of feeling. After all, he had done it with Shen Jingxian and Tang Tang. He knew the feeling of this kind of thing, therefore, he was very clear that Lu Shuangshuang was simply moving on him, and she didn't really do it. It could be said that it was more like acting. Just like some third-grade movies, the male and female protagonists seemed to be filming a passionate scene, but in fact, it was not the case at all. It was just a random moan. What made Xiao Chen a little confused was why Lu Shuangshuang did this. Is this chick sick? She made me dizzy, and then secretly played simulated sex. How could there be such a simple-minded woman in this world? If he really liked to play, he could buy a dummy to play with at home. However, even Xiao Chen had to admit that although Lu Shuangshuang was pretending, her voice was indeed very seductive, causing little Xiao Chen to have a reaction. Ah! Lu Shuangshuang screamed in pain. She suddenly felt a sharp pain coming from her lower body. It was heart-wrenching. Then, very quickly, she understood what was going on. It was Xiao Chen's little Xiao Chen. He suddenly reacted and stood up, but she didn't realize it. She was still happily acting, moving up and down like crazy. Then, a tragedy happened. The fake act became real. Lu Shuangshuang had a feeling, and so did Xiao Chen. He was also a little surprised. Just like that, they went in. Damn, it can't be, right? Lu Shuangshuang almost cried. Gone, the first time was gone just like that? It's over. What should I do? It's too much. And Xiao Chen almost cried too. She pushed him down for no reason. Was she asking him to take responsibility? Xiao Chen had always taken this aspect seriously. Although he was always thinking about when he could do it with Shen Jingxian again, it was only limited to the person he liked. He wasn't a casual man. Even when he was the young master of the Xiao family, he never went to look for prostitutes. In his opinion, women could only develop to that stage if they had feelings. And once they developed, they would never give up. But, what the hell was going on with Lu Shuangshuang? He didn't have time to think about it. It seemed that a warm feeling came from his lower body and entered his dantian. Xiao Chen quickly used the mantra to dissolve this warmth. And in his body, the demonic energy of the middle-aged woman that he didn't completely dissolve last time was now completely mobilized by Xiao Chen. It was swallowed by the warm feeling mixed with the vital energy in his body. Xiao Chen was slightly surprised. He didn't dare to be negligent. He couldn't care less about Lu Shuangshuang. He quickly used the mantra to change the vision in his body. Although Xiao Chen didn't know why his body felt this way, it was just like when he was with Shen Jingxian. It seemed, it could improve his strength. At this moment, Lu Shuangshuang was a little frightened and regretful. She sat there in a daze, but she didn't forget to get up. She just stared at Xiao Chen in a daze. Xiao Chen felt a little depressed and complicated. It was just a poke, and it seemed like it was poked through. But, logically speaking, it couldn't be considered doing it. It could only be considered an accidental injury. But, Xiao Chen really couldn't find a reason to convince himself to cut ties with Lu Shuangshuang in the future. Not to mention that Lu Shuangshuang had provided a lot of help to his cultivation. Now, Xiao Chen could basically confirm that this could improve his cultivation, but he didn't know if it was effective the first time or every time in the future. In any case, his relationship with Lu Shuangshuang in the future was enough to give him a headache. Xiao Chen wanted to be strangers with her in the future, but could he? Xiao Chen was a man with a strong sense of male chauvinism. Since Lu Shuangshuang was already in a relationship with him, if Lu Shuangshuang followed someone else in the future, he would be disgusted to death. Sigh, I'll take it one step at a time. The most important thing for Xiao Chen to do right now was to dissolve the warm current and demonic energy in his body, the energy circulated in his body, and the speed was getting faster and faster. Soon, Xiaochen touched the edge of the barrier. Was he going to break through again? Xiaochen was a little excited and excited. Strength had always been his greatest desire. He knew that only with strength could he stand firm in Songning City and investigate the mastermind behind the scenes. As long as the mastermind behind the scenes was dealt with, he wouldn't have to worry about not being able to find clues about his father. These thoughts circled in Xiaochen's mind. Soon, his body trembled, as if the warm feeling, demonic energy, and energy had intertwined and exploded. Boom. Xiaochen felt a slight numbness in his meridians and elixir field. Then, his whole body seemed to have been suppressed for a long time and exploded in an instant. The previous feeling of obstruction was gone, but the warm feeling and demonic energy didn't disappear completely. There was still a part of it left. However, when Xiaochen broke through the obstruction, it became obedient and lay on the side, no longer moving. As for the energy in Xiaochen's body, there was only his own energy left. He had broken through. The current Xiaochen was already a cultivator at the 8th level of the Qi refinement stage. In theory, it was equivalent to a martial artist at the 9th level of the inner force stage, or even the peak of the 9th level. However, at the moment when the energy exploded, Xiaochen seemed to have been stimulated by something. At this moment, it also exploded. This made Xiaochen really speechless, and he even felt a little ashamed. Even a fast gunman couldn't be this fast, right? He exploded in an instant. Isn't this too weak? This is really damaging to my heroic image. Moreover, what made Xiaochen most depressed was that this was great. Previously, he could have hinted that it was an accident, but now, he wouldn't believe it even if he said that he didn't do it. Although, he really didn't do it at all. Lu Shuangshuang felt a heat under her body. Only then did she come back to her senses. She quickly turned over and got off. However, she was shocked to see that Xiaochen's area was sticky, and there was even a trace of blood. At this moment, an unexplainable resentment surged in her heart. This guy, Xiaochen, really knows how to take advantage of others. Is this even possible? Although Lu Shuangshuang didn't know much about this kind of thing, she had crammed a lot of porn before. This Xiaochen's speed is too fast, right? She heard that only virgins would be so fast and be done in an instant. Now, it seems that this guy is the same. Then, would he be able to accept her as his girlfriend? After thinking about it, Lu Shuangshuang felt that it was still impossible. Xiaochen didn't know about it. He was still in a coma. Even if she told him later, it wouldn't be good. Sigh, Lu Shuangshuang, why are you so unlucky? Why did you have to encounter all sorts of bad luck? Ever since you were young, you and Lin Ke were really two great calamities, always bringing bad luck to each other. Sitting at the side, Lu Shuangshuang's feelings were a little complicated. She didn't know what to do in the future. In fact, although she was crazy every day, she was actually a very conservative person. Otherwise, she would have agreed to the old man a long time ago. Moreover, the conditions that the old man gave her also made her very tempted. Although she didn't know whether it was true or not, if she didn't care, she could test it out. There was no loss. But now, she was inexplicably played by Xiaochen. She really didn't know who to blame. In the end, she couldn't blame Xiaochen. Why-ya-ya-ya-ya. The old man's blood surged as he watched from the outside. With the moonlight, he could see the sticky and bright red blood on Xiaochen's body. The old man naturally understood what was going on. What did she mean by sleeping with him before? It was clearly his first time just now. He had a feeling that he had been fooled by Lu Shuangshuang. He wanted to kill this adulterous couple to vent his anger. Bang! The glass of the room was directly smashed by the old man's kick. With a whoosh, the old man rushed in and shouted, "Lu Shuangshuang, you be *tch. Since I can't have it, you can go to hell." Lu Shuangshuang was shocked, and her face suddenly turned pale. She didn't expect the old man to suddenly rush in and kill people. She even forgot that the old man was around just now. Her mind was completely stuck in the annoyance of losing her first time. Otherwise, she wouldn't have ignored the old man. But now, it was too late to say anything. She believed that the old man had already discovered the problem. Don't mess around. It's none of his business. Lu Shuangshuang was shocked. Although she was very angry with Xiao Chen for being dishonest and injuring her inexplicably, it was still an accident in the end. She was the one who asked Xiao Chen to help. How could she watch Xiao Chen be killed by the old man? It's none of his business. The old man suddenly sneered. B**tch, you're quite infatuated. You know how to protect your man. But it doesn't matter. No matter what you say today, the two of you will die without a doubt. I'll let the two of you die together as a pair of lovebirds. I've done my best. He 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 he. Chapter 432. Don't, he doesn't know what's going on. He's a temporary actor I invited. Lu Shuangshuang hurriedly explained, I don't care if you want to kill me, but he is really innocent. Xiao Chen had actually woken up a long time ago. He knew exactly what was going on outside. However, he had just broken through, so he had to continue the mantra of the primordial circulation technique to stabilize the primordial energy in his body. Otherwise, if his strength was unstable, it would be easy for him to go berserk. That would be really f***ked. Lu Shuangshuang's performance at the moment made Xiao Chen look at her in a different light. Xiao Chen also roughly understood Lu Shuangshuang's approach. She was acting for the old man, but she was careless and made things worse. But in any case, Lu Shuangshuang's affectionate and loyal attitude made Xiao Chen's impression of her soar. Of course, there was the fact that she had accidentally injured him. In Xiao Chen's heart, he had already regarded Lu Shuangshuang as one of his own. Even if they could not develop into a couple in the future, Xiao Chen would not ignore Lu Shuangshuang's matters. He would even be a little overbearing and restrict her from having a boyfriend in the future. Old thing, are you looking for death? Xiao Chen sat up and stared coldly at the old man in front of him. He asked, You're disturbing me and my girlfriend in the middle of the night. Are you a pervert? Xiao Chen, you're awake? Lu Shuangshuang was stunned, but when she heard Xiao Chen's pretense, she was a little worried. This guy just woke up. I don't know what's going on. Is he still acting? However, it was okay for him to act against ordinary people. The key problem was that the old man in front of her was not an ordinary person, but a real warrior and evil cultivator. He was even a very powerful high-end warrior. You're awake. Xiao Chen hugged Lu Shuangshuang, then glared at the old man and said, Why aren't you getting lost? Do you know who I am? I can make you disappear from this planet in minutes. After that, Xiao Chen even winked at Lu Shuangshuang. It seemed to mean that he acted well, right? Didn't it feel good? Does it look like something like that? Lu Shuangshuang didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This Xiao Chen was really into the role, but did he understand the situation? Actually, Lu Shuangshuang misunderstood. Xiao Chen winked at her, signaling her not to worry and not to be nervous. However, Lu Shuangshuang misunderstood him. Xiao Chen, hurry up and leave this place. This person doesn't need you to act. He can kill you. Kill me? I can even kill him. Xiao Chen squinted at the old man and said, Old bastard, are you going to leave by yourself, or do you want me to send you off? Why. Boy, I'll let you die first. As he spoke, the old man's aura surged and evil chi was revealed from head to toe. However, it also caused Xiao Chen to be slightly shocked. What was going on? He was a stage 10 inner force evil cultivator. Wasn't he too powerful? Seeing his opponent's strength, Xiaochen didn't dare to be careless. He made the first move and directly blocked Lu Shuangshuang behind him. Xiaochen suddenly exploded and smashed his palm towards the old man's chest. Sneak attack when you're unprepared and kill you. This palm of Xiaochen's was using the primordial qi in his body to the extreme. Dark Flame Palm, 9th style. Boom, the old man spat out a mouthful of blood and was directly sent flying out of the window by Xiaochen. He crashed into the hill behind the resort. Behind the resort was the foot of a small hill. There was no one at night, so Xiaochen didn't need to hide anything. Fortunately, this room was at the back of the resort. If it was in the front, there would be cars below and it would be troublesome. However, Xiaochen didn't relax after his attack. Instead, he followed the old man and jumped out of the window under Lu Shuangshuang's stunned gaze. Naturally, Xiaochen wanted to kill all the old man and not leave any future trouble. No matter what, he had to kill this old man. First, this old man had a grudge against Lu Shuangshuang. If he didn't kill him, Lu Shuangshuang might be in danger in the future. Lu Shuangshuang was just an ordinary girl without inner force. She was no match for him at all. Second, he saw Xiaochen's true colors. Xiaochen had strength, and he was very strong. This matter couldn't be spread out for the time being. Otherwise, it would be difficult to investigate the mastermind behind this. The old man fell on a large rock on the hillside. He felt like his bones were about to fall apart. Especially the palm that hit his chest, it made him feel like he was going to die. Just this palm that he wasn't prepared for had caused him serious internal injuries. He never thought that Lu Shuangshuang's boyfriend was actually a master, and a top evil cultivator at that. According to the strength of this palm, his opponent was at least at the peak of stage 9 inner force. This palm was the 9th style of Dark Flame Palm. It was incomparably skilled. It wasn't something that someone who had just entered stage 9 inner force could perform. To be able to perform this martial arts skill so skillfully, Xiaochen's strength should be around the peak of stage 9 inner force or around stage 10. This was similar to the old man's strength. Moreover, the old man was seriously injured. How could he win? He looked at Xiaochen who was chasing after him. He couldn't help but speak timidly, "Young hero, I didn't mean to offend you. I promise I won't bother you anymore. If you let me live today, I, the West Mountain Lecher, will repay you handsomely in the future. You're a heretic cultivator and I'm an evil cultivator. Do you think I'll let you go?" Xiaochen's cold voice came from afar. Soon, he descended from the sky and was about to land a blow on the old man's body. Originally, the West Mountain Lecher thought that he would first trick Xiaochen and let him escape to heal his injuries. When his injuries were healed, he would find Xiaochen for revenge. Even if he couldn't beat Xiaochen, he could still vent his anger on his girlfriend, Lu Shuangshuang. However, he didn't expect that Xiaochen wouldn't be so gullible. This made him feel a little helpless. He gritted his teeth and saw that Xiaochen was about to come over. His body suddenly burst out a ball of black gas. Xiaochen jumped in fright and hurriedly dodged backwards. Only God knows what kind of weird situation would happen if he were to come into contact with the black gas that burst out from the body of these evil practitioners. Xiaochen did not want anything to happen here, he was not even dressed yet. However, after he retreated, when the black gas dissipated, the West Mountain Lecher's figure was already gone. He had disappeared into thin air. Xiaochen sighed helplessly. His strength was still not enough. If he was at the 9th level of the Qi refinement stage, he wouldn't care about this. He would directly rush into the evil Qi and kill the West Mountain Lecher. But now, he didn't dare to take this risk. If he fainted here, his identity would immediately be exposed. Now, only the West Mountain Lecher knew that he had strength. However, he might not be able to connect him with the trash of the Xiao family. These heretic cultivators obviously didn't pay much attention to the aristocratic families in the secular world. For a while, Xiao Chen's identity might not be exposed. Of course, Xiao Chen could only comfort himself like this. He didn't dare to stay for long. After all, he was running naked behind the resort. There was still a ball of red and white sticky under his body. If someone saw this, Xiao Chen would really be ashamed. He got up and flew back to the resort room. He almost bumped into the person on the windowsill. Lu Shuangshuang was standing in front of the windowsill in a daze. Her mind was in a mess. She felt that today's events were like a dream. First of all, she had inexplicably lost her chastity. This was a line of defense that she had guarded for 20 years, but it was broken just like that. It made her feel empty in her heart. But then, she didn't have the mood to think about this anymore. Because the West Mountain Lecher had already come to the room and wanted to kill her and Xiao Chen. And at that critical moment, Xiao Chen actually made his move. He's a martial artist. And his strength is very high. He can actually beat the West Mountain Lecher who was at the 10th level of the inner force. This shocked Lu Shuangshuang. She never thought that Xiao Chen's strength was actually so high. Which big family's disciple is he? No, how can a big family's disciple have this kind of strength? He's so young. I'm afraid he's an outstanding disciple sent by those sects to train. Seeing him jump down from the 4th floor, and then jump back to the 4th floor, forcing the West Mountain Lecher to beg for mercy and escape, Lu Shuangshuang felt that her brain wasn't enough. It can't be, my luck is starting to reverse? Shouldn't it be bad luck? Why is it that all of a sudden, a random man is so awesome? That's the existence of the 10th level of the inner force or even higher. She felt that Xiao Chen was able to defeat the West Mountain Old Pervert, so she subconsciously believed that Xiao Chen had the same level of strength as the West Mountain Old Pervert, but he might not be stronger. If he was stronger, the West Mountain Old Pervert would have been killed by Xiao Chen with a single palm strike, and he would not have been able to escape. It has to be said that Lu Shuangshuang's brain is quite bright. This is also related to her hanging out in the warrior guild all day long. She has heard about the levels of these martial artists. When Xiao Chen returned to the room, he couldn't help but feel a little awkward facing Lu Shuangshuang. Just now, he went to beat someone up, but now that there were only the two of them in the room, Xiao Chen didn't have the domineering attitude from before. Lu Shuangshuang. What's going on? Xiao Chen looked at Lu Shuangshuang, but he couldn't bear to blame her, so he could only frown and ask. Although he was used by this greedy girl, didn't he also get a greater benefit? Not to mention the increase in strength, just the fact that Lu Shuangshuang gave her body to him, made Xiao Chen unable to get angry at her. Previously, when he accidentally hurt her, it could be said that it was Lu Shuangshuang's fault, but later on, it was Xiao Chen's own fault. She didn't even move. Why did you get angry? Aren't you just taking responsibility for yourself? However, Xiao Chen is not a person who cares about small things. Ever since he was kicked out of the Xiao family, Xiao Chen experienced a lot of things. His whole thinking and mentality changed. Since it has already happened, he won't regret it, he just wants to deal with it properly. Xiao Chen. I'm sorry. I almost killed you. Lu Shuangshuang's face was a little pale. She thought that if Xiao Chen didn't have the strength today, then Xiao Chen would have been implicated by her. Chapter 433. Hearing that Lu Shuangshuang's first sentence was to apologize instead of blaming him for accidentally hurting her, Xiao Chen's impression of this girl suddenly changed. In the past, he thought that she was a super greedy girl. It was reasonable to say that if such a thing happened, especially after he showed some abilities in front of Fat Bear and Xie Kenjun, the first thing she would think of was to use this kind of thing to blame him, and then ask him to support her in the future. However, this didn't happen. This made Xiao Chen have a new understanding of Lu Shuangshuang. Even if she was the one who tricked him into coming here and was used without knowing it, and if she didn't have the strength, she would have almost died. However, he had done that to her. In Xiao Chen's opinion, this matter was more or less even. Can you tell me what's going on? Xiao Chen still couldn't understand how Lu Shuangshuang provoked such a powerful evil practitioner. Moreover, why did she have to pretend to have sex with other men in front of this evil practitioner? AI. Lu Shuangshuang couldn't help but sigh after listening. Then she suddenly realized that she was only wearing a pajamas, and Xiao Chen was naked. She suddenly blushed and said, "Let's go to bed and talk. You can put on clothes or cover yourself with a quilt. You took off my clothes. Why? Are you shy now?" Xiao Chen looked at Lu Shuangshuang's small face that was as red as a small apple and couldn't help but tease her. At that time, I couldn't do anything. I already said sorry. Lu Shuangshuang was a little apologetic. I didn't expect that he could suddenly come in and hurt people. But, Xiao Chen, why are you so powerful? He is an evil practitioner with inner force stage 10. You actually beat him away? Isn't your strength even higher? Why didn't I know before? Keep my strength a secret for me. Don't go out and talk about it, Xiao Chen reminded. Not many people know about it at present. I don't want to spread it. Ah. Oh, okay. Lu Shuangshuang nodded quickly, then. Between me and you should also keep it a secret. Don't tell Kuer. If she thinks that I stole her boyfriend, she will break up with me. Hehe, she's not my girlfriend. Xiao Chen shook his head and said, but of course I won't talk nonsense. Actually, nothing happened between the two of us, right? Hearing Xiao Chen's words, Lu Shuangshuang's expression suddenly changed. Then, she became a little sad and said, yes, it's actually nothing. Looking at Lu Shuangshuang's expression, Xiao Chen felt a little distressed. He just casually said some comforting words, but he didn't expect Lu Shuangshuang to have such a big reaction. He couldn't help but smile bitterly. If you have any problems in the future, you can find me directly. I will help you. But don't look for a boyfriend anymore. If you need to fake one, find me directly, Lu Shuangshuang was stunned for a moment. After hearing what Xiao Chen said, her face lit up. It seemed that he was not heartless. However, when she heard what he said next, she was stunned. You like me? That's not it. Xiao Chen couldn't lie to her. They didn't have any emotional foundation. How could Xiao Chen like her? Especially when his impression of her wasn't too good before. Now, at most, he had a good impression of her. You don't like me, and you won't let me have a boyfriend? Lu Shuangshuang suddenly pursed her lips. Her eyes curved into a crescent moon. She smiled at Xiao Chen. Just because you pushed me once, you will keep dominating me? Xiao Chen also felt that his condition was a bit overbearing. He clearly didn't like her, but he still wanted to dominate her. It was simply unreasonable. However, if Lu Shuangshuang got a boyfriend in the future, Xiao Chen would feel very uncomfortable. If you don't get a boyfriend, I will try my best to help you in the future, stingy chauvinist. Lu Shuangshuang glared at Xiao Chen speechlessly. You don't like me, and you still restrict me. Well, this is what you said. I will grant all requests. Okay, as long as I can do it. Xiao Chen nodded. In fact, he didn't force Lu Shuangshuang. He just discussed it with her. Seeing that she agreed, he was instantly relieved. Then tell me, do you have a girlfriend? Lu Shuangshuang asked. Yes. Xiao Chen was slightly stunned, but he didn't hide it and answered. Yes? How many? Lu Shuangshuang continued to ask. Ahem. Xiao Chen looked at Lu Shuangshuang and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He didn't know what she was thinking. Say it. Lu Shuangshuang lay on the bed and looked at Xiao Chen, who was sitting on the side. If you don't say it, I will go find a boyfriend. Sweat, too. Xiao Chen could only say it. Too. Lu Shuangshuang's eyes turned after hearing it. No one knew what she was thinking. Have you done that with them? What kind of thing? Xiao Chen asked. You already know the answer. Did I go find a boyfriend? Lu Shuangshuang said. Xiao Chen could only nod speechlessly. Oh. I thought it was your first time. Then why are you so useless? You came out all of a sudden. Lu Shuangshuang was a little angry. It's all in. What if I'm pregnant? I was unconscious. How would I know? Xiao Chen was speechless. He thought, it's useless. Should I try again? But he didn't say it. It was a bit of a hooligan. Before, they didn't have a relationship. It was fine to say it. Now that he said it, the relationship between the two of them suddenly became complicated. I will buy medicine for you later. Oh. Okay, you buy it. Anyway, you made it. The medicine is quite expensive. It's more than 10 yuan per box. I can save money. Lu Shuangshuang nodded and said as if it was a matter of course. Xiao Chen couldn't help but sigh at Lu Shuangshuang's obsession with money. Then if I make other requests, will you agree? Lu Shuangshuang suddenly asked. Xiao Chen nodded. You are so powerful. Can you help me find some connections and talk to the people in the Warriors Market Square not to ban my business? Lu Shuangshuang hesitated and said. Your business? What business? The one that sells binoculars? Xiao Chen was stunned. That's it. Lu Shuangshuang said, the contract with the Warriors Market is signed until the end of this month. However, they won't renew the contract with me. It's also because I had some unhappiness with the two martial artists on Temple Street. The Warriors Market is afraid that selling binoculars at such a high price will have a negative impact. If the headquarters finds out, they will punish them. So, they don't want to renew the contract with me. This matter had been bothering Lu Shuangshuang for a long time. She kept it in her heart and didn't say it. She didn't know why she said it in one breath in front of Xiao Chen, as if Xiao Chen could be trusted. In fact, Lu Shuangshuang didn't want Xiao Chen to solve it. She just wanted to tell him that it was fine if it worked. If not, then forget it. So, if I don't have a job, you have to help me find a job. Otherwise, what will my grandmother do? You are occupying me and depriving me of the chance to be a mistress. You have to take responsibility until the end. Warriors Market? Who told you not to renew the contract? Xiao Chen asked, Chi Mucheng. You know shopkeeper Tai. Lu Shuangshuang was a little surprised. However, she shook her head and said, it's not him. It's a deacon in charge of external cooperation. Oh. For Xiao Chen, this was a very small matter. Seeing Lu Shuangshuang seriously begging him, Xiao Chen couldn't help but sigh. This girl had suffered a lot in the past. She struggled at the bottom of society just to earn some money to buy medicine for her grandmother. She was really pitiful. Xiao Chen took out his cell phone from his clothes and directly dialed Hongzhu's number. Yawn. Hey, Xiao Chen, why are you calling Big Sister in the middle of the night? Is it because the night is long and you can't sleep? Do you want to chat with Big Sister? Hongzhu's lazy and charming voice came from the other side of the phone. No, I want to talk to you about something. Xiao Chen said directly, in the Warriors Market, there is a person selling binoculars called Lu Shuangshuang. Do you know her? What? Hongzhu was a little stunned. Warriors Market? Selling binoculars? Since when did the Warriors Market become a department store that sells this kind of thing? Can binoculars be used for cultivation? Xiao Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry at Hongzhu's words. He roughly explained Lu Shuangshuang's situation to him. Is that so? Hongzhu finally understood. Why are you looking for me for such a small matter? Really, tell me, is that Lu Shuangshuang related to you? Are you messing around behind big sister's back again? Although Xiao Chen knew that Hong Zhu was joking, he was still somewhat speechless. Alright, I won't tease you anymore. I'll help you settle it. Seeing that Xiao Chen wasn't saying anything, Hong Zhu smiled and said, however, if you have any good business, don't forget about me. Don't worry, I won't, Xiao Chen said. After hanging up the phone, Xiao Chen looked at Lu Shuangshuang, who was lying beside him and looking at him with unblinking eyes. Because she was only wearing pajamas, and because she was lying on her stomach, the two hemispheres on her chest were faintly discernible. Although he couldn't see it clearly, this hazy beauty made Xiao Chen's heart tremble slightly. Lu Shuangshuang also saw Xiao Chen's gaze. She subconsciously wanted to lift her collar, but for some reason, she put it down and deliberately puffed out her chest. Hey, compared to your girlfriend, how's my figure? You're calling her, right? No, she's JCUP. Xiao Chen was referring to Tang Tang. TCH, what's so good about being too big? It's a burden to walk, it's head-heavy and light-footed. I might even choke to death. Lu Shuangshuang said disdainfully, but it seemed like she didn't mean it. I'm done, there shouldn't be any more problems. You can continue selling, Xiao Chen said. Your girlfriend is helping you take care of a mistress? Lu Shuangshuang was a little curious and puzzled. She's not my girlfriend, Xiao Chen explained. Oh, she's also a mistress. Lu Shuangshuang suddenly realized. Was she also accidentally hurt by you, and then you took her for yourself? Pfft. Xiao Chen knocked Lu Shuangshuang's head and said, what are you thinking? She's just a good friend of mine. Chapter 434. Oh, a confidant. Lu Shuangshuang nodded. However, as soon as Lu Shuangshuang finished speaking, her phone rang. She quickly got up, but it affected the wound on her lower body. She gritted her teeth in pain and hopped over to pick up the phone. However, when Lu Shuangshuang saw the caller ID, she was a little surprised. She quickly picked up the phone. Warden Ma, are you looking for me? Sister Shuangshuang, can you stop messing with me? If you know the higher-ups of our Hong Chamber of Commerce, just say it. How can I keep you waiting? Just now, Manager Tai called me and said that the people from the headquarters specifically wanted to take care of you. You know, I'm really sorry about what happened before. Warden Ma, who was usually cold to Lu Shuangshuang and had a business-like attitude, had a surprisingly good attitude this time, even a little flattering. Lu Shuangshuang was also a little surprised. The woman that Xiao Chen just called is a higher-up of the Hong Chamber of Commerce? Damn, how could his little son be so powerful? Wasn't he the least powerful? How about this, in the future, our Warriors Market Square won't take a commission from selling the binoculars. You can sell them as you like. We can also add some other business items, such as popsicles, melon seeds, and mineral water. Anyway, since you like it, I will report it to you and give you some certification stickers in batches, Warden Ma said. Lu Shuangshuang was a little dizzy. Happiness came too fast, and it was solved just like that? Originally, in her opinion, it was more difficult than reaching the sky, but Xiao Chen actually solved it with a phone call? Now that she thought about it, she really didn't get hurt for nothing. Lu Shuangshuang, your bad luck is over. Now, your good luck begins. Lu Shuangshuang thought happily. I got it, Warden Ma. Thank you very much. Lu Shuangshuang quickly replied. You don't have to thank me. If you want to thank someone, thank the higher-up you found. Attendant Ma smiled and said, all right, Sister Shuang, call me anytime if you need anything. All right, goodbye Deacon Ma. Lu Shuangshuang felt a little dizzy. Looking at Xiao Chen on the bed, her gaze also became a little tender. She ran to the bed in a few steps and kissed Xiao Chen's face. However, she couldn't help but move her wound again, causing her to cry out. She held her crotch with both hands. It was so painful that tears were about to come out. Xiao Chen touched his face and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This Lu Shuangshuang was really. After thinking for a moment, he said, "Let me treat your wounds." "Cure, cure?" Lu Shuangshuang's eyes widened. How was she going to cure him? Flip up her skirt and show him her legs? What's wrong? You don't want treatment? Why are you injured like this? Xiao Chen was slightly stunned. He looked at Lu Shuangshuang and said, "Aren't you in pain?" But. Lu Shuangshuang looked at Xiao Chen sneakily. "Are you trying to take the opportunity to peek and take advantage of me? I've already F***ed you. Didn't I take advantage of you?" Xiao Chen suddenly didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He said, "Besides, you don't have to look. Sit here. I will help you with my hands, you don't have to look." "Do you want to touch me?" asked Lu Shuangshuang. "Then forget it." Xiao Chen was speechless. "Then you can touch me. Actually, you have helped me so much. I can locate my position. Isn't it just a mistress? It's nothing. Since it's already like this, I might as well follow you," said Lu Shuangshuang. "I'm just treating your wounds. If you don't want to treat me, then forget it." Xiao Chen glared at Lu Shuangshuang. "Why are you so fierce? You're the one who injured me." Lu Shuangshuang sat next to Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen shook his head and reached out to the acupuncture point on Lu Shuangshuang's waist. There was no need to reach out to her sensitive parts. Xiao Chen began to try to treat Lu Shuangshuang's injuries. In contrast, Lu Shuangshuang's injuries were not considered injuries at all. Xiao Chen only took a few minutes to treat her. It doesn't hurt anymore?" Lu Shuangshuang stood up in surprise. She even deliberately jumped on the ground twice. Nothing happened at all, so Lu Shuangshuang hurriedly ran to the bathroom and checked. Looking at Lu Shuangshuang's impatient personality, Xiao Chen couldn't help but smile. This girl is crazy. No wonder she is so insensitive and caused such a mess. After a while, Lu Shuangshuang ran out of the bathroom and looked at Xiao Chen with a strange expression. "What's wrong with you? Is your injury not healed?" Xiao Chen looked at Lu Shuangshuang strangely and asked. "No, it's healed, but it's a bit too complete." Lu Shuangshuang said. "Complete is not good? Do you want me to treat half of it and leave the rest to you?" Xiao Chen was stunned and asked in confusion. "That's not what I mean. I mean, that's healed too." Lu Shuangshuang hesitated and said. "What do you mean by this and that?" Xiao Chen didn't understand. "It's the membrane," Lu Shuangshuang said. "Pfft." Xiao Chen almost spat out his saliva after hearing it. He looked at Lu Shuangshuang in shock. "No way. This can be healed? If I open a clinic, won't I be rolling in money?" "You're still laughing. Then, the next time you want to do that with me, won't I have to suffer again? I still have to die from the pain." "Really?" Lu Shuangshuang complained. "It's not good to fix it. This way, it's the same as before. You don't have to rely on me in the future." Xiao Chen didn't understand Lu Shuangshuang's thinking. Aren't girls usually very concerned about this? Now that it's healed, she's not happy. If it's healed, I'm lying to myself. In my heart, I already feel that I'm not. What's the use of fixing it? Isn't this an unnecessary move? AI. Lu Shuangshuang said gloomily. "Then, should I break it for you again?" asked Xiao Chen. "Don't. Let's wait for a few days. I'm in so much pain today." Lu Shuangshuang shook her head quickly. "It's better not to treat it." Xiao Chen was also a bit puzzled. Does my vitality have such a function? But thinking about it, maybe it's because Lu Shuangshuang hasn't been injured for a long time, so it can be healed. But if it's an old injury, it can't be healed. Thinking of this, Xiao Chen was suddenly enlightened. Okay, stop complaining. Hurry up and tell me, what's going on? How did you provoke that old man? Did you sell the binoculars to others at a high price again? Asked Xiao Chen. How is that possible? Lu Shuangshuang was suddenly amused after listening. I didn't sell binoculars at a high price. It's all clearly marked and honest. That old man is called Elder Xishan. It's a long story. I've known him for 10 years. Oh? 10 years? Xiao Chen was a little surprised after listening. It's been so long, and he didn't do anything to you. Why did he suddenly want to kill you today? It's like this. At that time, my grandmother was seriously ill. I invited a doctor, but the doctor said that she couldn't make it. Even if we sent her to the hospital, she would only last a few days. The doctor saw the condition of my family and kindly told me not to waste my money. It's better to stay at home. Eat whatever you want to eat and drink these few days. In my disappointment, I met him. He said that he had a way to control my grandmother's illness so that my grandmother wouldn't die. So, I believed him, and he really had a way. He gave me a prescription and let my grandmother live until now. Oh. This person is quite amazing. He can actually give prescriptions? Xiao Chen was slightly shocked. Generally speaking, the level of evil cultivators wasn't very high. They all relied on some dishonest ways to improve their strength. For some real scientific knowledge, there was still a big gap. However, he didn't expect that this evil cultivator could actually maintain the life of a dying person for 10 years. It was not easy. Then between you and him, he put forward a condition. That is, if I didn't have a boyfriend when I was 20 years old, I had to give him my first time and become his lover. But if I had a boyfriend, he wouldn't be in front of me. I only needed to pay him the consultation fee of 1 million. Lu Shuangshuang said, all these years, I've been working hard to earn money. Except for the necessary living expenses and grandma's medical expenses, I've saved the rest of the money. Now, I've saved more than 800,000, damn, you really know how to save money. Xiao Chen was a little shocked. He really didn't see that Lu Shuangshuang was actually so good at saving money. A girl in the slums who depended on her grandmother for survival, earned so much money by selling binoculars. Yes, but I didn't expect that Elder Xishan would find me and go back on his words. He didn't want my money, but he insisted that I give him my first time and become his lover. Lu Shuangshuang said, actually, I secretly found out that he used me for cultivation. He said that my physique is especially suitable to be a cauldron that can help him improve his cultivation. Especially the first time, it can help him break through directly. But now, it's wasted by you. When Xiao Chen heard Lu Shuangshuang's words, he couldn't help but look at her in shock. Breaking through directly on the first time? No wonder. Xiao Chen was also very puzzled. He had just broken through not long ago. In theory, it shouldn't be so fast to break through. It seemed that this should be Lu Shuangshuang's credit. Then, you found me and asked me to pretend to be your boyfriend. So, deceiving Fat Bear was fake, but deceiving this Elder Xishan was real, right? Xiao Chen roughly understood. However, this person was called Elder Xishan. What was his relationship with the old goblin Xishan that he killed previously? Could he be an evil cultivator from the same place? Yes. You saw through me. I'm sorry. Lu Shuangshuang stuck out her tongue and said, actually, I didn't want to lie to you, but this Elder Xishan is very powerful. I was afraid that after I told you, you would be worried and not help me. But, you also did that to me, so we're even, hee, okay. Xiao Chen said. What do you mean by even? It's obvious that I made a big profit. That was already an advantage, and I broke through because of Lu Shuangshuang. This is a great advantage. Chapter 435. Level 8 of Qi Refinement Stage. This strength was enough to dominate the entire Songning city. Here, there were few who could rival him. But, you asked me not to have a boyfriend. Now, you owe me. You can't say no to my request. Lu Shuangshuang said. Well, tell me, what else do you want? Xiaofan nodded and asked. Your medical skills are so good that you can cure my injury in a short time. Can you go and see my grandma? If you can cure my grandma's illness, then I promise you that I won't have a boyfriend for the rest of my life, and I won't have any intimate relationship with other men. I mean it. Lu Shuangshuang swore. Oh? That Xishan elder, you didn't cure him? Xiaofan asked. No, he's just maintaining it. And I found out that after my grandma drank the medicine he made, she seemed to have other problems. She could only lie on the bed, weak, and couldn't stand up at all. Although she was alive, it was more painful, and she couldn't take care of herself. Lu Shuangshuang said, I suspect that the medicine he made for me is not good, so I have a conflict with him. If he had really cured my grandma back then, it would not be impossible for me to promise him these things as a way of repaying his kindness. Luckily, you didn't promise him. Xiaofan said, that person is an evil cultivator. If you promised him, he would treat you as a human cauldron. Maybe after a few times, he would absorb all the yin qi in your body, and your life would be in danger. So scary. Lu Shuangshuang was a little scared. Evil cultivators are not good people. I can see that he has an evil aura on him. This person is definitely not a good person. If there's a chance, I will help you kill him. Xiaofan said. Thank you, you are so good to me. A touch of tenderness flashed in Lu Shuangshuang's eyes. Since she was a child, no one cared about her so much except her grandmother. Even if it was Kerlin, they were just good sisters. Moreover, Kerlin's family situation was worse than hers, so Kerlin couldn't help her much. However, Xiaofan cared about her in all aspects. Although he accidentally hurt her, overall, Xiaofan was still very responsible. He was not like those legendary young masters who would turn their backs on others after eating. On the other hand, Xiaofan had always been thinking about her. Even if Xiaofan forbade her from having a boyfriend, Lu Shuangshuang didn't have a boyfriend at all. Previously, her thoughts were all on her grandmother. How could she have the time to have a boyfriend? Moreover, her thoughts were especially conservative. Since she had already followed Xiaofan, she wouldn't be able to get over it if she followed someone else. Even if Xiaofan didn't say it, she wouldn't go. I have said that I will try my best to help you with your matters. Xiaofan said, when this reunion is over, I will go to see your grandmother and see if there is a way to treat her. NN. Lu Shuangshuang nodded happily. There was a big hole in the room. Although it hadn't snowed yet, it was already very cold. The cold wind of early winter was blowing. Xiaofan was a cultivator, so it didn't matter, but Lu Shuangshuang was an ordinary person. Previously, because her attention was on Elder Xishan, she didn't notice the cold. Now that she had let go of the matter, she couldn't help but shiver. She quickly pulled a big quilt over and got into it. She said, "It's so cold." Xiaofan directly called the service desk and said, "Can you get a maintenance worker? The glass in my room was inexplicably broken. Can you help me change it or change a room?" When Lu Shuangshuang heard that someone was coming, she naturally put on her clothes quickly. Xiaofan also put on his pajamas. Not long after, the lobby manager of the resort came with 2 maintenance workers. They thought that one of the windows was broken, but when they entered the room, they saw that all the windows were broken. They couldn't help but be stunned. "What happened to you?" Why are they all broken? The cost of this glass is very high. Since you've damaged it, you'll have to compensate according to the price. As soon as the lobby manager entered the door, he placed the blame on Xiaochen. This made Xiaochen a little angry. Although Elder Xishan came for Lu Shuangshuang, the resort was actually responsible. Allowing strangers to come in was not good for public security. Moreover, it was Elder Xishan who broke it. What did it have to do with Xiaochen? If he were to negotiate, Xiaochen wouldn't be short of money. He could just give it to him. But now, Xiaochen's expression suddenly turned cold. He said, "Are you blind? Didn't you see these glass shards? They are all shattered on the floor of the room. This was clearly broken from the outside. Do you think I can stand outside the window and shatter the glass one by one? What kind of look is that? This." The lobby manager actually had the idea of letting the customer pay if he could. This way, the hotel would lose less. Anyway, many things couldn't be explained clearly. If the customer said that they weren't the one who broke it, there was no evidence. Just like that, the resort could naturally collect the money. But now, what Xiaochen said was right. The glass shards were all on the floor of the room. This was the fourth floor. Who could stand outside and knock on the glass? Wouldn't that be courting death? However, who broke the glass? The two of us were sleeping well when there was a sudden bang. The glass was shattered. What's wrong with your resort? Why is there a thief in the middle of the night? Or is there someone playing a prank? If not, it's haunted. It scared me to death. Xiaochen said. I'm sorry. Don't be angry. Otherwise, I will change a room for you. Then, today's accommodation fee will be waived. How about it? The lobby manager was also a little puzzled. How did it break? However, no matter how it broke, he must calm the customer. If he went out, whether it was a thief or a haunted resort, it would cause an extremely bad impact. He could only apologize and compensate. Forget it. Since your attitude is good, change a room for us. Xiaochen waved his hand. As for the accommodation fee, someone is treating. You don't have to calculate it. But you go out and buy me a box of Leaven or Gestrel. Then, this matter will be over. Okay. The lobby manager signaled to a maintenance worker and said, "You go and buy it first. This glass will be changed later. Hurry up. The vending machine downstairs has it." Yes. The maintenance worker quickly ran out. The lobby manager said to another maintenance worker, "You sweep the floor here first. I will take these two guests to the new room." The lobby manager changed a room for Xiaochen and Lu Shuangshuang. The environment was better than the previous one. It was said that it was reserved for emergencies. It wasn't open to the public usually. The maintenance worker had returned with a box of pills in his hand and handed it to Xiaochen. Xiaochen closed the door with satisfaction. Lu Shuangshuang couldn't help but give Xiaochen a thumbs up. "You are really amazing. You can do this too. Great, I saved more than 10 yuan. Xiaochen thought that Lu Shuangshuang was talking about him dealing with the broken glass. He didn't expect her to talk about the medicine. He couldn't help but be speechless. This Lu Shuangshuang is really a miser. "Hey, you won't mess with me today, right?" Lu Shuangshuang opened the pills and suddenly asked. "Today?" Xiaochen was stunned and then shook his head. "How can you say that? Be more civilized next time." "I almost didn't understand." "Oh." Lu Shuangshuang ate the pills. "What should I say? Do me? Don't seduce me. Otherwise, the medicine will be wasted." Xiaochen glared at Lu Shuangshuang. "Then I am going to sleep." After Lu Shuangshuang ate the medicine, she took off her clothes, pulled the quilt over her body, and lay on the bed. As for Xiao Chen, he sat cross-legged beside Lu Shuangshuang. He had just broken through and needed to consolidate his strength. Using the mantra, Xiao Chen communicated with the Elder Heaven Ancestor in his mind. Elder Heaven Ancestor, I actually broke through. What is Lu Shuangshuang's physique? Why is it so special? It's true that her physique is special, but the most important thing is that the primordial yin of a virgin is a good cultivation resource for a cultivator. Elder Heaven Ancestor said. This is also the reason why many cultivators like to cultivate human cauldrons. It is a shortcut to improve their cultivation. I see. Xiao Chen suddenly understood. Then, is the second time still useful? The second time is useful, but the effect is not as good as the first time. After 3 to 5 times, it will completely lose its effect. Elder Heaven Ancestor explained. So some evil cultivators who use the method of collecting yin to nourish yang will constantly change their target instead of focusing on one. What about me, who has been repaired? Does Lu Shuangshuang count the next time? Xiao Chen suddenly had an idea and asked. Of course not. Elder Heaven Ancestor snorted. You are thinking too much. You only repaired externally, but the primordial yin has been absorbed by you. I see. But, why does that Elder Shishan want to cultivate Lu Shuangshuang as a human cauldron? Is there anything special about her? Can't she just keep improving her cultivation? Xiao Chen asked in confusion. Yes, Lu Shuangshuang's physique is quite special. If she cultivates the corresponding Heart Sutra, she can always be used as a human cauldron. She will produce new primordial yin and you can always use it. Elder Sky said, actually, this is similar to dual cultivation. You leave your vital energy in her body and take her vital yin. The two of you are equal to dual cultivation. Not only will it not harm her body, but it will also increase her cultivation. It's similar to you and Yi Xiaoya, but the method of cultivation is different. For Yi Xiaoya, it's just that your devil energy is compatible with hers. If it was someone else, there wouldn't be such an effect. Lu Shuangshuang, on the other hand, is using her vital yin. Lu Shuangshuang, however, uses her primordial yin. With Yi Xiaoya, it is a long-term accumulation. With Lu Shuangshuang, it is a one-time acquisition. Then, when she cultivates her primordial yin again, it is roughly like this. So that's how it is. I understand. What kind of Heart Sutra does Lu Shuangshuang need to cultivate? Xiao Chen asked. How would I know? Elder Heaven Ancestor's words made Xiao Chen almost choke. Chapter 436. Then, do you have a corresponding mental cultivation method? Xiao Chen's heart skipped a beat. This was a great thing. If Lu Shuangshuang could become a human cauldron, it would be of great benefit to his own cultivation. No. Elder Heaven Ancestor said, this is something that only evil cultivators do. How could I have it? This, you can't say that I'm an evil cultivator. At least I didn't force Lu Shuangshuang. Xiao Chen said while sweating. You'd better ask Elder Shishan for it. I really don't have it. Elder Heaven Ancestor said, whether you believe it or not, this old man is still a virgin. If it was my good friend, he might have it, but I definitely don't. Pfft. Xiao Chen almost choked to death on his own saliva. Elder Heaven Ancestor was a virgin? However, at this point, Xiao Chen really had no other way. He said, I see. That is to say, if I do it with her now, after a few times, it will be useless? Yes. Elder Heaven Ancestor said, unless she is allowed to cultivate, otherwise, even if she has a special physique, it will be useless. Because she needs a mental cultivation method to tap her potential. Without the mental cultivation method, it will be useless. So, what is the special ability of the 8th level of Qi refinement realm? Xiao Chen changed the topic and asked. The The special ability of the 8th level of Qi refinement realm is illusion. In fact, it is to create long-term illusions. For example, you can change your appearance for a long time. It will not be as short as before. According to the size of the illusion you set up, the duration is also different. If you only change your appearance, you can last for a long time. Elder Heaven Ancestor explained, but if you want to set up a big illusion, it will not last for a long time. Oh. It will be good if I can change my appearance for a long time. Xiaofan was very satisfied with this. His current ability was already very great. Even without the help of those cultivation methods, he could already look down on Songning. The Elder Heaven Ancestor poured a bucket of cold water on Xiaofan. You don't need to be so arrogant. If you had fought with that heretical cultivator from before, you wouldn't have been a match for him. Oh. Xiaofan said, in other words, I caught him off guard. That's right. You have the advantage of surprise. Evil cultivators are much stronger than martial cultivators and devil cultivators. Although they can't be compared to cultivators, there is still a huge gap between you and them. You have just broken through to the 8th stage of the refinement stage, while your opponent is a famous evil cultivator who has reached the peak of the 10th stage of the inner force stage. He is only one step away from becoming a martial artist. The Elder Heaven Ancestor said, it was not easy for you to beat him to such a sorry state. He can only blame himself for being careless. By the way, Elder Heaven Ancestor, what is the realm above the martial artist who has reached the peak of the 10th stage of the inner force stage? Xiaofan had never known the realm above it. In his previous view, the peak of the 10th stage of the inner force stage was the highest realm he knew. There should be no one in Songning City who could surpass this realm. At that time, it would be an extravagant hope for Xiaofan to possess inner strength. Naturally, he wouldn't research some unrealistic higher level because it would be meaningless. Even if he did research it, it wouldn't be of any help to his own cultivation. But now, Xiaofan could easily injure the evil cultivator who had reached the peak of the 10th stage of the inner force stage. The gap between them was really emotional. The realm above the 10th stage of the inner force stage is called Martial Master. Martial artists cultivate inner force, while martial masters cultivate inner force. Inner force is stored in the body and can be incessantly stimulated. Compared to inner force, it has more power. Inner force is just an explosive force. The peak of the 10th stage of the inner force stage is equivalent to 10 times the limit of a normal person, but it can only be used for one strike. On the other hand, inner force is endless, the Elder Heaven Ancestor explained. Why do devil cultivators and evil cultivators have an advantage over martial cultivators? This was also because devil cultivators and evil cultivators cultivated devil chi and evil chi. They could produce continuous effects, especially when they used martial skills. Their martial skills could be released for a long time, so the effect of their attack was naturally more powerful. However, the martial skills of martial cultivators were more ferocious. It is just that this gap becomes much smaller when you reach the martial master level, because the gap between martial cultivators and evil cultivators is smaller. Inner force. Xiaofan suddenly understood. So, there is another level above martial cultivators, and that is martial masters. This was a level that he had never known before. Then when I reach the peak of the 10th stage of the Qi refining realm, does it still have strength? Yes, the level above the 10th stage of the Qi refining realm is called the foundation building realm. However, it is different from the martial master level. Martial masters are divided into the first stage of the inner force stage to the 10th stage. Of course, when martial masters talk about strength, devil cultivators and evil cultivators will also use the term inner force. The Elder Heaven Ancestor said, as for your level, it is divided into the early stage of the foundation building realm, the peak of the foundation building realm, the middle stage of the foundation building realm, all the way to the peak of the foundation building realm, these 7 levels. But when you reach the foundation building realm, you will find that when you can refine flying swords and use some magic tools and talismans, you will have an absolute advantage over martial masters, and the fight will not be so difficult. It seems that I have to work hard. Xiao Chen was fascinated by the Elder Heaven Ancestor's words. It seems that the foundation building realm is the most powerful existence. My current advantage is nothing compared to the foundation building realm. Hard work, but not everyone can reach the foundation building realm. The Elder Heaven Ancestor's words made Xiao Chen immediately calm down. Some cultivators are unable to reach the foundation building realm in their entire life. Unless they take some special pills to help them reach the foundation building realm, such as the foundation building pill, or the foundation building pill. But don't say that you are not an alchemist. Even if you are, there are no materials for you to refine pills. But with the current thinness of the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, whether you can reach the peak of the 10th stage of the Qi refining realm is a problem. Foundation building realm, you are thinking too much. Damn, so you are saying that I might stagnate, and at that time, any martial artist can kill me? Xiao Chen was stunned, a little depressed. When you are at the peak of the Qi refining realm, you might be able to fight against a martial artist at the first stage of the Qi refining realm. I haven't tested it before, because I leveled up too quickly. The Elder Heaven Ancestor said with some pride. Oh, is it faster than me? Xiao Chen asked. The Elder Heaven Ancestor was speechless. After a while, he said 2 words, no. Ha ha ha, then I still have a chance to reach the foundation building realm. Xiao Chen was very optimistic. I actually didn't use too much time to break through. Be careful, extreme joy turns to sorrow. The Elder Heaven Ancestor said. You are jealous. Xiao Chen said. The Elder Heaven Ancestor. The West Mountain old pervert fled from the resort. He had never expected that with his current strength, he would be injured by someone in the secular world. Furthermore, he was injured by a fiendish cultivator. He was very surprised. Who was this Xiao Chen? Could it be that he was a disciple of a great devil sect who came to the secular world to gain experience? But why was he together with Lu Shuangshuang? There was no intersection at all. Could it be that the devil sect disciple also discovered Lu Shuangshuang's strange physique and wanted to dual cultivate with her? After thinking about it, this was the only possibility. Although the devil sect also had dual cultivation techniques, they did not force it. Generally, it was voluntary Dao companions. Unlike evil cultivators, they usually used coercion and use. Of course, even if it was coercion and temptation, the other party had to agree and be willing. Otherwise, if the other party did not cultivate the heart technique, they would not be able to be cultivated into a furnace. The Western Mountain lewd old man dragged along his heavy injuries. Fortunately, he had already chosen his escape route and temporary lodging location. With his current injuries, it was impossible for him to back out of Western Demon Mountain. He wouldn't be able to last that long. This temporary place to live was something he planned to do after dealing with Lu Shuangshuang, but he did not expect that he would have to live here. Even though he was injured, the old pervert still ran all the way to the front of a very shabby rental house and knocked on the door. Who is it? A hoarse man's voice came from inside. Then, the door opened with a squeak, and a thin man with sunken eyes came out. Although he should only be around 20 years old, he looked very wretched. He was thin and small, a bit like a pervert from an H cartoon. Little Biao, how have you been these years? The old pervert asked. You are master? The old pervert? The person who opened the door was Sun Abayo. He did not expect that the old pervert would appear again after disappearing for so long. Looking at your appearance, your cultivation level is not low. You should have the strength of a 7th level evil cultivator, right? It's really not low. You must have had a fortuitous encounter in these years? The old pervert looked at Sun Abayo and said. I had a little fortuitous encounter. I found a job to clean the toilets of an elementary school. But later, Someone found out that I secretly used a bottle to collect urine, so I was fired. Son Abayo said gloomily, in that year, my cultivation improved the fastest. Okay, let's not talk about this. Let Master go in quickly. Master is injured and needs to rest here for a while. The old pervert waved his hand and said. Ah. Master, what level of strength do you have? How did you get injured? Son Abayo was stunned and asked quickly. I have the strength of the peak of the 10th level, but the opponent was not weak. I think he should also be a 10th level evil cultivator. He seriously injured me with one palm. The old pervert explained. It can't be. Master, you went to the toilet and got caught by someone? But, there actually happened to be such a powerful evil cultivator? Son Abayo was a little surprised. All these years, he had been hiding himself. He did not dare to force those girls, nor did he dare to secretly keep them for cultivation. He understood that evil cultivators should not be seen in the light. Those evil cultivators and martial cultivators all wanted to kill them. Chapter 437. However, all these years, he had never met a devil cultivator or a martial cultivator, so he gradually became a bit careless. He also became a bit more daring and dared to commit crimes against the wind. But now that he heard Xiaofan old pervert say this, he was scared to death. Don't mention it, I wanted to cultivate a good furnace. I didn't expect her boyfriend to be a devil cultivator. He's really powerful, he almost killed me. Xiaofan old pervert said gloomily. So it's like that. Son Abayo was a bit afraid. Luckily, he didn't dare to do such a thing. He would always change places after every shot and didn't dare to say anything to anyone. Alright, let's not talk about it anymore. Let me rest and heal for a while. I'll give you some pointers on your cultivation. When I'm better, I'll bring you to find a way to quickly break through. Xiaofan old pervert said. He originally thought that he could use Lu Shuangshuang to break through this time. A woman with this kind of physique would be able to help him successfully break through to the martial master realm for the first time. But now, all of this had turned into a bubble. If he relied on himself, he didn't know when he would be able to break through. The duck that was in his hands flew away. This made him extremely angry. Originally, he was confident that he could control Lu Shuangshuang. If he had known earlier, he would have been stronger. It would have been better than now. He originally wanted to make long-term plans and make Lu Shuangshuang follow him willingly. Then, she would cultivate the mantra and become a furnace. But now, it was useless. Even if Lu Shuangshuang cultivated into a furnace, it would only be effective on the first person she had a relationship with. It would have no effect on him. After a night of silence, Lu Shuangshuang slept very soundly. Xiaochen couldn't help but admire this girl's nerves. She was actually able to sleep like this. Previously, it was the evil cultivator's attack, then it was an accidental injury. After stretching, Xiaochen laid down beside Lu Shuangshuang. Using the morning light, he looked at her side profile. She was very beautiful. Lu Shuangshuang belonged to the kind of girl who didn't dress up much, but her body was filled with a kind of spiritual energy. Or perhaps, this was related to her physique. Lu Shuangshuang's skin was very good and her eyelashes were very long. If she dressed up, she would be a rare beauty. However, Lu Shuangshuang didn't seem to care about these things. She was curled up in the quilt with a smile on her face. No one knew what she was dreaming about. In fact, Lu Shuangshuang was really having a beautiful dream. She dreamed that Xiaochen married her, and then she moved into a big house with her grandmother, living a happy life. Early in the morning, a ray of sunlight shone in. Lu Shuangshuang woke up. Thinking back to her dream, she couldn't help but shake her head. A mistress wanted to become a regular employee? There were still 2 people waiting in line in front of her. She really fantasized too much. Hey, you're not asleep? When Lu Shuangshuang saw that Xiao Chen's eyes were open, she couldn't help but be stunned. You've been guarding me all night? Xiao Chen wasn't guarding at all. He was just cultivating. You are so good to me. Lu Shuangshuang was a little happy. Seeing that you treat me so well, I won't look for a boyfriend. They definitely won't treat me as well as you. How was your sleep? Xiao Chen changed the topic. It's pretty good. I feel quite safe. Also, the problem of evil cultivation that has been bothering me has been solved. I feel so happy. Lu Shuangshuang skipped to the bathroom to wash up. Xiao Chen felt that this girl was really energetic. After Lu Shuangshuang finished washing up, the two went downstairs to the restaurant together for breakfast. Lu Shuangshuang followed behind Xiao Chen like a little wife. Her eyes were filled with sweetness. Her whole eyes were on Xiao Chen. No one knew what happened last night except for the people in the hotel. The lobby manager had been waiting for Xiao Chen in the restaurant for a long time. When he saw them coming in, he quickly came over and said, "You two, in order to express my apology for last night, I specially asked the restaurant to add a dish. I stewed turtle for you. It's very nourishing. I hope you two won't talk nonsense after you leave, hee, don't worry. I'm not that bored." Xiao Chen nodded. In fact, he had no intention of blackmailing the resort. After all, the evil cultivator was seeking revenge on Lu Shuangshuang. He was angry yesterday because the lobby manager didn't know what was right and what was wrong. Now, seeing that he was being so careful, he didn't make things difficult for him. He walked into the restaurant with Lu Shuangshuang and found a seat. After a while, a waiter brought over a pot of stewed turtle. Lu Shuangshuang had never eaten something so expensive before. Although she made a lot of money from selling binoculars, she had saved all her money to buy medicine for her grandmother. She didn't have any money for herself. It's delicious. Lu Shuangshuang ate a piece of turtle. She thought it was a little scary, but it was delicious. Seeing that Xiao Chen didn't eat, Lu Shuangshuang quickly said, "Xiao Chen, do you want to eat too? I have more opportunities to eat. I'm already tired of it." Xiao Chen smiled. When he was just chased out of the family, he really couldn't eat anything. But later, there were more people who treated him, and he had more money in his hands. He didn't have that feeling anymore. Then, I won't stand on ceremony. Lu Shuangshuang began to eat. Lu Zhenming also came to the restaurant with Fat Bear. He saw that there were turtles on Xiao Chen's table, but there were no turtles in the buffet area. He was a little puzzled. Am I late? There's no more? After thinking about it, Lu Zhenming waved to the lobby manager who hadn't left yet. There's no more turtles? Why didn't I see it? Ugh, sir, that turtle is a special dish for them. There are no turtles in the buffet area. The lobby manager explained. Then what if I want to eat it too? Lu Zhenming asked, "Make one for me." I'm sorry, there's no ordering service during breakfast time. The lobby manager said. Motherf ****. This is our brother Lu. Don't you have good eyesight? Don't you know who is in charge of the underworld in Songning City? The boss of your Jiduan city is also a slave of the Lu family. Fat Bear was angry. He slammed the table and shouted. Ugh! The lobby manager's face turned green. He quickly said, "Okay, I will prepare it immediately." I'm sorry, Motherf ****, brother Lu, this kind of person bullies the weak and fears the strong. What kind of joke is this? Fat Bear said angrily. Okay, don't let boss Xiao Chen hear it. You are so noisy. What if you affect the boss's meal? Do you want to die? Lu Zhenming glared at him. Fat Bear shrank his neck and didn't dare to speak casually. Lu Shuangshuang was eating the turtle, but she suddenly put down her chopsticks. Xiaochen wondered, why don't you eat? Are you full? No. I want to pack it and let my grandmother taste it. She has never eaten such delicious food. Lu Shuangshuang hesitated and said. Although it might make Xiaochen feel that she was very shameful, she also had to say that she was a filial girl. If there was delicious food, she naturally wanted to let her grandmother taste it. Hee, you eat it. I will buy some delicious food for her later. Xiaochen said, actually, you don't have to worry about money in the future, right? You don't have to give money to Elder Shishan. The warrior market has added additional income. You can also take out your previous savings to spend. If it doesn't work, I can still give you some. I don't need it if you give it to me. Indeed, I seem to be very rich. Lu Shuangshuang remembered her savings of more than 800,000 yuan. I wanted to wait until the shanty town was demolished to compensate me with a good house, but now it seems that it won't be long before I can save money to buy one myself. So, you can eat boldly without worry. Xiaochen smiled. N. Lu Shuangshuang nodded and began to eat again. Not long after, Xiaochen saw the waiter walking over with another bowl of turtle soup. Xiaochen couldn't help but feel a little puzzled. He directly extended his hand and called out to the waiter, "Whose turtle soup is this? Is it ours too?" "No, it's the customer over there who ordered it." The waiter pointed to Lu Zhenming's side and said. "Oh, then you don't have to give it to him. Just pack it up and take it away," said Xiaochen. The waiter was stunned. He didn't know how to answer. At this time, the lobby manager saw that the waiter was stopped by Xiaochen. He quickly walked over and asked, "What's wrong? What happened?" He was afraid that Xiaochen would make trouble, so he came to deal with it directly. "Manager, these two guests said that they want to pack this turtle and take it away," said the waiter. The lobby manager suddenly broke into a sweat after listening and said, "Sir, this turtle is ordered by the customer over there, don't worry about him. Just pack it up for me," said Xiaochen. "This. Sir, the customer over there doesn't have a simple background. I can't afford to provoke them. Moreover, if you take away the turtle, I don't think they will let it go," explained the lobby manager. "Oh, I can afford to provoke them. Just pack it up," said Xiaochen directly. Lu Zhenming saw that his turtle was stopped, and he was a little puzzled. However, because it was stopped by Xiaochen, he quickly came over and wanted to see what the problem was. Seeing Lu Zhenming coming over, the lobby manager was a little embarrassed and sweating. "Young Master Lu, this gentleman wants this turtle, damn." Lu Zhenming said angrily, "If he wants it, give it to him quickly. What are you waiting for? Hey!" When the lobby manager heard the first half of Lu Zhenming's sentence, he thought that he was angry and wanted to beat up Xiaochen, but the second half of the sentence made him a little speechless. What does this mean? He wants me to give it to him? Is it true? Or is it sarcasm? Boss Xiaochen, is one enough? Do you want me to let them stew another one? Asked Lu Zhenming in a flattering manner. No need. It's enough. It's just right. You watch him pack it up for me. Give him the money on the way. I'll go first. As Xiaochen said this, he stood up with Lu Shuangshuang, who had finished eating. No problem. Lu Zhenming nodded and then turned to the lobby manager. Hurry up and pack it up. Didn't you hear what Boss Xiaochen said? Chapter 438. Lu Zhenming's words made the lobby manager almost pee in his pants. Is that person the ruthless one? The young master of the Lu family has to listen to that person? In that case, I was really lucky yesterday. I went to blackmail him and didn't get kicked down the building by him. I'm really lucky. Thinking of this, the lobby manager quickly asked the waiter to go back and pack it as fast as he could, after breakfast, all the people who participated in the class reunion gathered in the lobby on the first floor of the resort. Everyone was going to climb the mountain together in a while. Bro Xiaochen, the turtle is packed. Do you want to eat it later when we climb the mountain, or do you want me to put it away first? Lu Zhenming ran over and asked. Put it in the refrigerator first. After climbing the mountain, I will take it away, said Xiaochen. Okay, I will store it in the refrigerator first. Lu Zhenming nodded and said. Behind the immortal resort, there was a mountain. The artificial scenery on this mountain was very good. Lu Shuangshuang looked a little excited. It was rare for her to come out to play. She used to go to the warrior guild to sell binoculars every day. When did she have the time to play? Therefore, Xiaochen didn't want to climb the mountain, but seeing that she was excited, he accompanied her. Everyone, pay attention. I will tell you about the precautions for climbing the mountain. This was the tour guide sent by the resort. Fat Bear found him to take everyone to climb the mountain. Now, although it is late autumn and early winter, there may be active grass snakes and poisonous insects on the mountain. Everyone try not to walk into the grass, and don't stay in dangerous places. Follow me as much as possible and take the normal mountain road. There is no danger on this road. However, if you encounter danger, don't panic. The grass snakes and poisonous insects on this mountain are not poisonous. Just find me to deal with them for everyone. After listening, the students nodded to show that they remembered it. Then, they followed the tour guide out of the resort and walked to the mountain behind the resort. This mountain was a naturally formed mountain. It was very wide and long, and the artificial scenic area that had been opened up was only a small part of it. It did not reach the peak, but only the first mountainside. This part of the man-made scenic area was also well protected, but it was inevitable that there would be grass snakes and poisonous insects. Therefore, no one dared to wander around casually. They all carefully followed behind the tour guide. The environment and air on the mountain were very good. Everyone took out their phones and took pictures. Lu Shuangshuang looked at everything on the mountain with excitement and curiosity. She had lived in the shanty town since she was a child and had almost never gone out to play. Other than the spring and autumn outings organized by the school, she had no friends. The only friend she had was Kerlin. In her spare time, she had to help her family sell noodles. How could she have time to go out and play with her? It would be good enough if he could squeeze out a little time to go shopping. It was impossible for him to go out and play. Your first outing? Xiaochen didn't know whether to laugh or cry when he saw how Lu Shuangshuang was so curious and excited that she wanted to take pictures wherever she went. He had been taking pictures of Lu Shuangshuang along the way. Yes, it's my first time. Lu Shuangshuang nodded. In the past, because the students were relatively young, most of the school spring outings went to the park. She had never been to a place like this. Xiaochen nodded and cooperated. Anyway, for him, other than being a little boring, climbing the mountain did not require much effort. Everyone went all the way to the scenic area on the mountainside. Everyone looked for a place to rest and take pictures in 2s and 3s. However, Xiaochen felt a trace of an unusual atmosphere. Lu Shuangshuang took the opportunity to drink water and rest in the resting area. She was an ordinary person. After climbing the mountain and taking pictures, her physical strength had long been overdrawn. At this moment, she definitely needed to rest for a while. On the other hand, Xiaochen walked towards the scenic area on the mountainside. Although there was a sign that said, "Danger ahead, do not approach," for a cultivator like Xiaochen, it was completely ignored. Standing at the edge of the mountainside, Xiaochen looked up at the peak of the mountain and quietly felt it, as expected. A few minutes later, Xiaochen took a deep breath and gazed into the distance. I can actually sense an extremely strong aura of heaven and earth spiritual qi here. Could it be that, there's something with spiritual qi at the top of this mountain? If Xiaochen could feel it, so could the elder heaven ancestor. Xiao Chen, you also felt it? The aura of heaven and earth here is especially strong. There seems to be something wrong with this mountain. Yes, I can feel it. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth on this mountain seems to be much denser than normal. If one were to cultivate here, it would definitely be stronger than other places. However, there is a limit to how strong it is. Xiao Chen said, after all, compared to spirit jades and supplementary herbs, it is much weaker. There must be something strange on this mountain. However, Elder Sky said, the spiritual energy of heaven and earth here is not naturally formed. I've observed the surroundings for a while. Based on the terrain and position here, it is impossible for such a dense spiritual energy to be produced. There is definitely a problem here. You mean, should go up and take a look? Xiao Chen suddenly became interested. Yes, but... The elder heaven ancestor suddenly changed the topic and reminded him, the aura of heaven and earth here is very strong. Perhaps it is man-made. If there is someone up there, then you, the elder heaven ancestor didn't finish his sentence, but he believed that Xiao Chen could guess it. If someone could artificially produce such strong aura, then their strength was certainly not low. If Xiao Chen met this person, it would be a disaster, not a blessing. Xiao Chen also fell into deep thought. The elder heaven ancestor's words were right. If there was really an almighty person who could gather the aura of heaven and earth here, then it was really a great ability. After thinking for a while, Xiao Chen asked, right, elder heaven ancestor, is this a formation? Yes, this is a formation. The elder heaven ancestor said, it seems that you are quite smart. However, a formation is absolutely not something you can set up at your level. It is simply a fool's dream for a chi refining stage cultivator to set up a formation. Although I don't know if there are still cultivators here, it is true that the aura of heaven and earth can gather. So, for the sake of caution, I don't recommend you go up now. The chi refining stage is the weakest existence in the cultivation world. In our words, if you haven't reached the foundation building stage, then you haven't even crossed the threshold. Although you can punch and kick martial artists, the fact is that you haven't met other cultivators. Nodding, Xiao Chen was a little silent. He didn't know whether he should go up or not. He had found a magical situation that might be helpful to his cultivation. If he gave up now, he would certainly regret it. Even if he went back, he would think about it day and night. But on the other hand, if he went up, as the elder heaven ancestor said, there might be hidden dangers. While Xiao Chen was thinking, the tour guide behind him shouted, "Student, please don't go near the edge of the scenic area. It is dangerous on the mountain. You'd better come back quickly." Xiao Chen was slightly stunned. He turned around and saw the tour guide waving at him. Xiao Chen suddenly thought of something and walked in the direction of the tour guide. He asked, "Oh, I just felt that the environment and the air up there are good, so I couldn't help but stop for a while. By the way, why is there no development up there? I think that if there is development up there, the scenery will be more beautiful, right? It's not that we don't want to develop up there, but it is abnormally dangerous. This mountain looks like it pierces through the clouds, but it is not. There is a lot of fog around it all year round, and the visibility is very poor. Moreover, there are many ferocious beasts." The tour guide shook his head and said, "I don't know why, but the beasts here are especially strong. Many of them seem harmless, but when they attack people, they are especially strong. Therefore, the resort has only developed up to this point. It is too dangerous up there. Previously, a few workers were attacked by some ordinary wild rabbits and wild roe deer, and they were already badly injured. Don't even mention some wild wolves. So that's how it is. No wonder you were so nervous when I approached." Xiao Chen thought to himself. As expected, this is a place with abundant spiritual energy. If he wasn't wrong, these powerful wild beasts might have grown up in places with abundant heaven and earth spiritual chi all year round. As a result, their physiques had undergone subtle changes, which was why they were so strong. Is there anything interesting up there? Or are they all barren mountains and ridges? There are some ruins of buildings built in ancient times up there, but there is nothing to look at. They are all broken and can't be used at all. Archaeologists have also seen them. Because the preservation is not complete, it is too dilapidated, and there is no archaeological value, so the resort has not been developed. The tour guide explained, therefore, we do not recommend guests to go up. It is too dangerous. Thank you for explaining to me. Xiaofan smiled. This is what I should do. The tour guide smiled and said, this is my job, and it is also what I should do. Xiaofan walked to Lu Shuangshuang's side and sat down. Lu Shuangshuang said, where did you go just now? Why did you stand at the edge of the scenic area for so long? I was observing to see if Elder Xishan is still nearby, Xiaofan said casually. Is he nearby? Lu Shuangshuang was shocked. There shouldn't be. Xiaofan smiled and said, it's just a joke. By the way, let's go back early after we finish climbing the mountain. We can visit your grandmother on the way, and then I will treat her. You also give her the turtle to eat. I am afraid that it will not be fresh for a long time. NN. Lu Shuangshuang nodded and said, then let's go back after lunch. Everyone in the scenic area was just watching the fun. After a long time, it would be boring. After all, no matter how beautiful the scenery was, it couldn't be eaten. Traveling was just taking pictures and then leaving. Therefore, soon, everyone went down the mountain under the guidance of the tour guide and returned to the resort building. Because it was not yet noon, everyone temporarily rested in the room, waiting for lunch time. Chapter 439. After returning to the room, Lu Shuangshuang was so tired that she lay on the bed and didn't want to get up. Lu Shuangshuang, I'm going out. In the end, Xiaofan couldn't resist the temptation of the natural aura. He planned to go and take a look. At most, he would just run away if there were any abnormalities. Previously, he heard from the tour guide that when the resort developed the mountain scenic area, they did send people to go there. However, apart from encountering some powerful beasts, they didn't encounter any other dangers. Therefore, it shouldn't be a big problem for Xiaofan to pretend to be a tourist. Where are you going? Lu Shuangshuang asked. I'm going to walk around the mountain to see if Elder Xishan really ran away. If he didn't, I will kill him directly. Xiaofan said. Oh, okay, then be careful. Lu Shuangshuang nodded and reminded him. If Xiaofan wanted to do something serious, she naturally couldn't stop him. Xiaofan left the room, went downstairs, and then turned to the back of the resort building. There was no one here now. Not all tourists who came to the resort to play would choose to climb the mountain. After all, there were many other attractions. In this season, the trees on the mountain were bare. No matter how good the scenery was, it couldn't be compared to summer. Seeing that there was no one, Xiaofan went up the mountain again. When he came to the mountainside, he didn't pay attention to the warning sign in front of him. He directly crossed the fence and quickly went up the mountain. The fog on the mountain was getting thicker and thicker, and the visibility was getting lower and lower. However, Xiaofan was a cultivator with strong sixth senses. This fog didn't affect him at all. He could easily distinguish the direction and the surrounding environment. Suddenly, Xiaofan stopped because there was a little movement not far in front of him, which made him raise his vigilance. However, he didn't move, and the movement not far away didn't seem to move either. This made Xiaofan's head tighten slightly. It seemed that the movement had also noticed him. However, when it came to patience, Xiaofan was very patient. Not to mention that he was a cultivator, even in the past, more than 10 years of training had cultivated his good patience. If the enemy didn't move, he wouldn't move either. Xiaochen simply stopped where he was and wanted to see what was going on. If anything went wrong, he would immediately turn around and leave. Whoa! Not long after, Ling could no longer bear the sound. It was a wolf. He suddenly pounced in the direction of Xiaochen. Xiaochen glanced at the wolf. This wolf was indeed different from other wolves. It seemed to be faster and stronger. However, in front of Xiaochen, it was not enough. Xiaochen directly slapped the wolf to the ground. It twitched twice and stopped moving. There's some spiritual energy in this wolf. Although it won't evolve into a spiritual beast, it's much stronger than ordinary beasts. The Elder Heaven Ancestor's voice rang in Xiaochen's ears. Looks like the spiritual energy here isn't as much as I thought. If it was, this wolf wouldn't be so weak. Then. Xiaochen was a little hesitant. Let's go up and take a look. There shouldn't be any danger, said the Elder Heaven Ancestor. Only then did Xiaochen feel at ease. He quickly made his way to the top of the mountain. Along the way, it was just as Elder Tian had said. Although they encountered a few ferocious spirit beasts, they were only against ordinary people. To Xiaochen, they posed no threat at all. However, when he reached the top of the mountain, Xiaochen was a little disappointed. As the guide said, there were a few dilapidated pavilions and a large platform similar to a square. However, it had long been ruined. He didn't know what it was used for in ancient times, but now it was beyond recognition. To Xiaochen's disappointment, while the spiritual energy in the surroundings was indeed dense, it was only average. It was denser than the area halfway up the mountain, but it was far from what Xiaochen needed for his cultivation. In other words, if Xiaochen came here to cultivate, his speed would be faster, but not by much. Now, Xiaochen mainly relied on spiritual jades, medicinal herbs, and dual cultivation to improve his strength. On top of the mountain, Xiaochen had a clear view of the mountain range, but he didn't find anything special. Something's not right. The Elder Heaven Ancestor's voice sounded, although the spiritual energy is not as much as I thought, it doesn't make sense. Oh? What do you mean? Xiaochen asked. In other words, along the way, the situation here is very ordinary, there is nothing special, but it can gather spiritual energy, which is a bit unreasonable. Elder Sky said, it's impossible for the spiritual chi of heaven and earth to be so much more than in other places. This is not a deep mountain forest, nor is it a paradise, but the spiritual chi of heaven and earth is so much. There must be a reason for it. Then, what should I do now? Xiaochen asked hesitantly. The Elder Heaven Ancestor said, you walk around, I'll take a look. Okay. Xiaochen nodded and began to run around the mountain range. Half an hour later, he even went around to the other side of the mountain range, then ran back and forth a few places, then asked, Elder Heaven Ancestor, how is it? Very strange. The Elder Heaven Ancestor said, the density of the spiritual energy here is completely inconsistent with the environment, but I haven't found anything wrong with it. Let's go back first, I'll think about it. Okay. Xiaochen did not continue to investigate. Even the Elder Heaven Ancestor did not know, he would not know, so he simply stopped thinking about it. When Xiaochen returned to his room, it was time for lunch. Lu Shuangshuang saw Xiaochen coming back, so she asked, how is it, Xiaochen, did you find anything? No, he should have run away, but be careful when you go back. If you find traces of Elder Shishan, you must call me immediately, Xiaochen said. Well, don't worry, I know. Lu Shuangshuang nodded. Xiaochen was just saying, in fact, he was not particularly worried. He knew the power of the palm he used on Elder Shishan. Even an evil cultivator at the peak of the 10th stage of internal strength would suffer. It would be impossible for him to recover without a few months. Therefore, even if Elder Shishan wanted to cause trouble again, it would be a long time later. Moreover, Elder Xiaofan had to consider whether or not to go against him. Generally speaking, evil cultivators were a group that could not see the light of day. If the strength of martial cultivators and demonic cultivators was much lower than them, they would dare to be arrogant. If the strength was similar, they would not be able to dodge in time. After eating at the resort, Xiaochen drove back with Lu Shuangshuang. When they left, Xiaochen looked at the mountains behind the resort again. There was spiritual energy here, but he could not figure out the reason. It was a pity. However, Xiaochen could not stay here and waste time studying the mountains. If he had the time, it would be better to find Yi Xiaoye for dual cultivation. The speed of dual cultivation was much faster than this little bit of spiritual energy. The car drove to the shanty town again. Lu Shuangshuang could not help but feel a little emotional. Originally, she wanted Xiaochen to pretend to be her boyfriend, but she did not expect. When they were near the door, Lu Shuangshuang was a little nervous. Xiaochen, when you see my grandma later, just say that you are my friend. Don't mention our relationship. Okay, up to you. When the time comes, you can introduce me. I will recognize you. Xiaochen said indifferently. Lu Shuangshuang nodded, then pointed to a dilapidated house not far away and said, that is my home. How about you don't park the car in front of the door, it's too conspicuous. Huh? Xiaochen was a little surprised. He looked at Lu Shuangshuang as if he did not know her. Don't you like vanity? Why don't you show off? Who likes vanity? Lu Shuangshuang did not know whether to laugh or cry. Wasn't I doing it on purpose? I wanted you to think that I went to show off to Fat Bear. Do you think a vain girl will sell binoculars every day? Xiaochen said. It seems that I still wronged Lu Shuangshuang. I'm really greedy because I want to collect the 1 million for Elder Xiaofan as soon as possible. Vanity or whatever, it's just that. Lu Shuangshuang smiled indifferently. But you can do whatever you want. The car is not mine anyway. Xiaochen shook his head, parked the car nearby, and got off with Lu Shuangshuang. However, when they parked, they were still seen by the people in Shanty Town. Lu Shuangshuang, this is. Don't tell me you have a boyfriend? An auntie in her 50s happened to pass by here. After seeing Lu Shuangshuang, she asked directly. Ah, it's Auntie Wang. This is a friend of mine. We attended a class reunion together. He sent me home on the way. Lu Shuangshuang explained. Oh. Auntie Wang smiled meaningfully and left, making Lu Shuangshuang very embarrassed. Xiaochen didn't say anything. He just nodded casually. Then the two of them came to the front of the relatively dilapidated bungalow. Lu Shuangshuang opened the door with the key and let Xiaochen go in first. She closed the door and locked it behind him. You are very careful. You lock the door when you go in and out. Xiaochen glanced at Lu Shuangshuang. It seems that this girl who looks a little crazy is a very careful person. Of course, my grandmother is sick in bed alone. I'm not at home. What if bad people come? Lu Shuangshuang said. Aren't you afraid that something will happen to your grandmother at home? Asked Xiaochen. I equipped an emergency pager on her bed. She can dial my phone with one button. If there is a problem, I will know immediately. Lu Shuangshuang said, come in. As Lu Shuangshuang spoke, she opened the door of the house. Squeak, the door opened. There was a damp and moldy smell inside, but overall, it was very clean. The furniture in the room was clear at a glance. When the door opened, there was a stove in sight. Opposite the stove was a house. An old man was lying on a big bed in the house. When he heard the door open, he said, Shuangshuang, you are back. Why are you so early? Didn't you go to the class reunion? You're tuning into the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.